West Florida winds have changed direction here at the Drive-On Championship, and so too early in this season have the fortunes of a couple of the tour's biggest stars. Lydia Ko won for the first time since 2022 last week, and now a Bradenton local, Nelly Korda, trying to do the same. A 4-shot lead when this final round began. It is down to 1. Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel, Tom Abbott with you. Karen Stupples out on the course. And let's get you right out to our final group at the 7th. Tom Abbott.
Yeah, Nelly coming a little shy with her tee shot. This for a birdie.
And this was not an easy place to putt from, Tom. It was uphill all the way.
Kept it below the hole, so that should be a 3 for Nelly, but she needs to find a birdie somewhere. Kickstart this round. It was a slow start yesterday for Nelly, and then she came alive late in the day. Might be the same story today, but she's got players hot on her heels, including a player that's playing alongside her in Megan Kang. Has this one at the 7th, Karen.
And Megan's been playing really consistently so far today. We've got a couple of birdies already. And this one is back down hill. And she only narrowly missed an eagle chance at the previous hole. Looks to be quite comfortable. Looks to be enjoying herself out here as well in these tough conditions.
Wow, she's got it. And Megan Kang catches her good friend Nelly Korda at the top of the leaderboard. Megan, who broke through to win for the first time in her career last year, the CPKC Women's Open in Vancouver, and now has a chance to win again here, having trailed Nelly coming into this final day. That big lead, that 4-shot lead, has gone. Nelly needs to clean this one up, Karen.
She does, but as you said, it is back uphill. Shouldn't be too much of an issue here, and I think what Nelly can do now is just really draw from the experience of yesterday. Basically the same thing happened.
Wow, it's a lot closer than we thought it was going to be at this point. Let's chat on what has happened and what is going to happen this afternoon with Morgan and Grant.
Is it ever? How about that? Korda and Kang now tied at 12 under. Morgan, I'm thinking about a couple of things here that I'd love to get your thoughts on. The dynamic of playing with a big lead and playing with a friend. It started that way for Nelly Korda, but now she's tied with her pal Megan.
We've seen it time and time again with the big lead. No lead is safe. It's hard to win. It's especially hard to win at home as well, which is what Nelly is trying to do. Got off to a rough start again today, but her ball striking has been superb, and she really needs to lean on that. This could potentially help her. It really changes your mindset. When you have a large lead, you tend to get defensive and tentative, which is a little bit of what we've seen from Nelly so far today. But this now it's game on. Now we have to go back to playing aggressive golf, playing Nelly's style golf. She loves to play aggressively, and we'll see if she's able to draw on the experience from yesterday, where she really got off to a slow start, but heated up at the very, very end, just in time.
I'll be curious to watch the interplay between these two good friends. They were really yucking it up the first couple of days when they played together, and now they're tied on Sunday. And Nelly's struggles have brought Lydia Ko back into the mix. Lydia trying to qualify for the LPGA Hall of Fame. She could do it with a win today.
Yeah, it is wide open today. The Chaser's not having much to lose, able to go out there and just send it. And Megan, we know, has the ability to do that. Her ball striking, honestly, both Megan and Nelly's ball striking this week has been absolutely spectacular, and that's one of the reasons why they're both at the top of this leaderboard right now. It's going to come down to who makes the most putts.
It only took 7 holes for that 4-shot lead to disappear. Nelly's cooperated a bit, but it's mostly been about Megan. 3 under through 7. Up ahead, Lexi Thompson. Tough start for her today.
Yeah, tough start. You don't want her to, a par 5 8th, really opportunity for her to head back in the other direction, having to make a 5-footer for par.
Well, Karen, it's usually easy to call a tee shot of Ayaka Putaway. Here she is at 8.
Yeah, normally straight down the middle, and this is going to be no exception. I would say a little note on today's round. The wind is in a completely different direction today, so the course giving these players a different look.
8 had been playing downwind. Nelly hit one in the water here yesterday Austin Kim, by the way, who was kind enough to join us in the booth after shooting 64 yesterday. Bounced back from a bogey early today, and she is tied with Lydia at 9 under.
So this hole playing back into the wind today. And it's 260 to get to the water. No surprise this one going right after the one went left yesterday.
Unable to take advantage of the par 5 sixth. She's played the par 5 so brilliantly this week. 9 under on the 9 par 5s. But as Morgan said, it's hard to win out here. Nelly's done it 8 times, but her 4-shot lead is gone. We got a tie at the top in Bradenton. Today's coverage is brought to you by Girls Golf. Help us impact the next 1 million girls and change the face of golf. Visit girlsgolf.org to learn more. And by CME Group, where risk meets opportunity. NBC Sports and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Bradenton, Florida, it's final round coverage of the LPGA Drive-On Championship. It's the 6th playing of the Drive-On. First time here in West Florida, specifically Bradenton Country Club, celebrating its 100th year as the LPGA just gets its 75th season underway. A Donald Ross design, restored, renovated 6 years ago by Tony Jacklin, and huge crowds all week have come out to watch what has become a nail-biter as these stars vie for that trophy. Lydia Ko has 20 LPGA titles. Her next one will put her in the Hall of Fame. Could it be today? Her 3rd at 8. Seeing some sweaters today, Morgan. Karen mentioned the wind now out of the north.
Yeah, it's a little bit chillier today. Not quite as cool as I expected it to be. Still a pleasant day temperature-wise, but it's difficult because of the wind. Completely different direction, especially here on 9, Tom. Straight into the wind today.
Yeah, you can see some of that dust from the Coquina cart pass being blown across in front of Lexi Thompson there. She finds the green. They've moved the tee forward at this 9th hole, make it slightly easier with that tricky breeze. Let's go back to number 8.
And co-leader Megan Kang.
And even the layups requiring a good strike from Megan. 200 yards to get it to the preferred spot.
To the 11th.
Yeah, this is an interesting hole today. They've also moved the tee forward, and they've put the flag on a little shelf on the right-hand side. It's very difficult to get close to this hole today. I've seen a few very good tee shots, but some players that have come unstuck here. So 3 is not a bad score at 11 today from what we've seen. Lucy's going along well.
Let's check back in with Nelly at the 8th.
She's got a good lie here in this Bermuda rough. I'm going to try and cut one. Oh, this is going left.
Uh-oh.
It's got to get
Penalty
lucky.
area over there.
Yeah.
Can't quite tell if the club turned over because of the Bermuda rough or if she just pulled it. But that is a very uncharacteristic shot. Very different from what we've seen from Nelly the first few days. Let's take another look at this here. Just trying to put something in position. Like Karen said, you still really have to focus. Looks good to the top there. Maybe dips her head a little bit more. I know she works on trying to stay level. Just came out left with a hook. And any shot dead into the wind like that is going to be magnified. And this is an anxious walk when you don't know where this golf ball is.
This is the group ahead at the 8th green. At Austin Kim, in her rookie season, her first start as an LPGA member, made her first cut. She'd played a few times before as a non-member, shot 64 in some of the toughest conditions yesterday.
Round of the week by far. It was some spectacular golf, especially the finish. The last 5 holes really catapulted her up to this leaderboard, and hardly anybody passed her yesterday.
No.
From when she finished, there were still about 4 hours of golf left to play, and no, I think 1 or 2 people maybe caught her yesterday and passed her. But this group just needs to really keep doing their thing, plugging along. They don't exactly know what's going on behind them. They probably might have the sense that Nelly hasn't gotten off to the best of starts, but we saw a lot of things happen yesterday in the back nine. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more of that here today.
Keep in mind, Nelly made bogey here yesterday and was trailing on the back nine. She went eagle birdie to push that lead to 4. Now that lead is gone. 9.
This is Lexi trying to battle back from a tough start. 3 bogeys on the card so far. And it's not an easy day.
Oh, that appears to be Nelly's ball. Karen, what can you tell us? It doesn't look good.
No, well, it's suspended about a foot off the ground within that thick grassy bush, and she's calling for a ruling, I think, to see what her options are, because I mean, you could try and take a stab at it, but I mean, unless you're good with a baseball bat, you know, it's going to be a tough thing to do.
Plus, it doesn't look like for a right-hander the way she's standing. Looks like it's on the other side of the bush as well.
Incredible. Lydia Ko made a double bogey at the 3rd, and she was 6 shots behind Nelly at that point. But now here is Lydia playing in the group ahead at the 8th. This to get within 2 of the lead.
She leads the field in putting this week. She's really relied heavily on this club the last 2 weeks. I mean, some tremendous putts under the most pressure to win last week at Lake Nona.
The champagne is going to be on ice every time Lydia Ko tees it up as she tries to earn a spot in the Hall of Fame. Nelly just trying to figure out how to play her next shot at the 8th. Nelly Korda is in that grassy bush at 8 in 2. She's taking an unplayable lie.
So she's taken her 2 club links from the bush. They did have a short discussion about being able to go back and hit over the pine tree that's ahead of her, but decided that she was having to go too far back to get enough club to carry the pine tree.
All right, while Nelly gets situated, here's Foodaway with her 3rd.
She's got 118 to the hole. Right now the wind is kind of quartering a bit from the left as well, so it's awkward, the wind today. For the most part, it's a consistent wind, but then every once in a while it will quarter just a slightly different direction, or it can throw players off.
That one looked like it got eaten up by the wind a little bit there.
Morgan, this is shocking, isn't it? All of it.
I did not expect to see this today, Karen, to start the day, especially how Nelly was yesterday, off to a bit of a slow start.
Well, and then she finished with such momentum too, and you'd have thought that was just going to roll straight over into today.
That's her 4th shot at the par 5. How far back will it come back?
Oh, what a beauty.
Wow.
What a shot. That could save a huge par. I mean, I know it's a putt for par at a par 5, but if she were to make that putt, that could go a long way for Nelly's psyche.
Meanwhile, a third for Megan.
Megan's got 110. Maybe the ball's on. It's not much of a downslope, but there is a slight one there. And right now, the wind feels like it's pushing. This going to push this ball to the right. She played it as such.
And that'll be a putt to take the lead alone. Things have changed dramatically here on this Sunday as we take you to the 9th.
Lydia Ko on the tee. The flag kind of tucked over on the left side of the green, just on a little ridge there. This plays as the 18th hole for the members. Par 3 finish. They've switched the 9s for the Drive On Championship. Yeah, nicely done, and that will leave a putt for Lydia Ko to get the 10 under par, potentially within 2 of the lead, depending on what Megan Kang does on that previous green. It's pretty close here at the Drive On Championship.
Four back when the round began, but now this putt for Megan Kang to take the lead.
And this putt is mostly downhill with a little bit of left movement in it. Oh, there's plenty left on this comeback.
She keeps leaving herself. I know that she's made 3 birdies so far today, but she has left herself above the hole in the last few holes, and that just is so tough to do around these greens. You're forced to be tentative, but Megan certainly gave that one a run. But she and her caddy Jack just having a good laugh about it. She looks very calm and relaxed out there, Karen.
She really is. I mean, she's, you know, singing to herself in between shots, kind of almost like she's got her own playlist in her head as she's going around the course.
Meanwhile, Nelly for par, no laughing matter here.
No, it's you know, the 2 players are very different. Megan obviously having a good time, and Nelly looks like she's got a little bit of weight on her shoulders right now. This one's going to break left. Oh, what a save.
Much needed. Nelly.
That was huge. That was a really, really big putt for Nelly. Fantastic stroke, confident stroke. Didn't look like she was wishing that one in the hole. She knew she was going to make that, and the fist pump, you could tell how much it meant to her too. And Jay just really trying to get her fired up. They have such a good partnership, work so well together.
So a par in hand after the second found the bush, and now Megan's got a comebacker, Karen.
Yeah, she does. Back uphill, she knows what this one will do, but Nelly had a look of determination in her eyes as she walked off that green.
Yeah, a little bit different than yesterday, Karen, where she kind of had her shoulders down and looked dejected, especially walking off of this green.
Yeah, no, that look was all determination, and I expected Megan to make that. She looked so solid.
Well, they say familiarity breeds contempt. The 2 good friends, Nelly and Megan, are putting that old adage to the test this week.
Honestly, it's so funny because I'm staying at her house this week. So I jokingly was like, I don't know if she'll talk to me tonight. Megan and I are not sick of each other yet, so we played the first 2 days together, maybe tomorrow, and staying at the same house. So thankfully I won't see her for 7 weeks. Just kidding. Maybe I'll just leave her stuff outside the door today. I mean, like, find yourself a new place. I'm just kidding. No. I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah, we got a good laugh about that today on the range before. She said, you know, I should have moved her stuff out to the front. You really yucked it up on social. They would have had a field day with that. But said maybe I would have told the gate not to let her through. But no, they're really best of friends. And, you know, here in this moment, I mean, they got Big Ten holes upcoming for both of them. It's anybody's game at this point.
At the 9th, Lydia Ko get it to 10 under par. Oh, it broke right across the hole. And Lydia just, well, I can't believe how far by that it's gone and that it didn't drop.
To the 10th, and Lexi Thompson with her second.
This hole playing completely differently today. Straight downwind. Lexi able to get that ball to stop very quickly. He's got to put a new golf ball in play this week.
Back to 9.
Austin Kin missed the green short, chipped up to here. So this for a par. A rookie from Florida. Had that terrific round yesterday, round in 64. And a good save there. And she's hanging around. You never quite know what could happen on the back 9. Came through the Epsom Tour. She won the final event of the season to secure her card. Moved inside the top 10 on the race for the card. The 10 players that graduate. Our top choice of technology presented by Progressive Insurance for Mao Saigo here at the 15th. Rookie from Japan. Had a very good season on the Japanese tour last year with 5 wins. And this one looks pretty good at the 15th. Is it going to hang there? There's a little downslope behind the hole today, so can't be too aggressive. But that was terrific from Saigo. This is Robin Choi for a par at the 9th. She was battling with Mao Saigo at the Q Series, the LPGA's qualifying tournament last year. Robin getting her card. It's been a difficult day so far today. She had a tough start. Dropped 4 shots in the first 4 holes today.
Over the 10th, Shiyu Lin for birdie. And back at 9.
And Lydia just with this short putt now to remain 3 behind. And Lydia, as we've talked about this week, and we'll talk about more over the course of this back 9, the chance to get into the LPGA Hall of Fame, which is a points-based system, and it's 1 point for a victory. She needs just 1 point to get to the magic number of 27 points.
She got 1 last week for winning the Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions, and there was a change in the point system to add Olympic gold as being worth a point. So maybe Lydia would enter the Hall of Fame in Paris this summer as the Olympic Games return live on NBC and Peacock. Won the silver medal in 2016, won the bronze last time out in Tokyo, where Nelly was the gold medalist. Lexi Thompson got the Olympic rings and a tattoo. She's competed for the U.S. The 10th can't get this one to drop.
Yeah, being an Olympian has been very important to Lexi. She even, I believe, has the rings embroidered on the seats of her car. Very proud to be an Olympian.
She'll need a really good first half of the season to have a chance to return to the Olympic Games. She's dropped to 35th in the Rolex rankings.
So when you come to sell that car, you're a small market. You've got to go after an Olympian. See if they need new wheels. So this is what's happened in the final round for Megan Kang. Start of the day trailed by 4, trailed by 3 after 3, trailed by 1 through 6, and now tied for the lead. 3 birdies, no drop shots for Megan Kang through the first 8 holes. And what does she face here at the 9th, Karen?
Well, we know the yardage is 156, but the bigger story is the wind. It is playing into the wind, so at least 15 yards of wind up there, I would say, right now. She is incredibly good at manufacturing some shots, keeping it low. And that one just got up into the wind a hair.
It's going to stay below the hole. Should leave her a chance for a birdie. Yeah, said she really enjoys kind of manufacturing her way through the wind, coming up with shots, being creative. It was a very nice shot into the green here at 15 for Saigo, but she doesn't convert the birdie.
Gosh, it's a tough hole today, Tom. Only 1 birdie from Cheyenne Knight so far today. Completely different wind.
Well, she's coming up a birdie on one of the most difficult holes on the golf course, number 14. So almost getting a few back against the average there, birdieing 14 and 15, but not able to convert. Here's her fellow countrywoman, Ayaka Furue, on the 9th.
There's a hybrid. This also going high, but on a good line.
And might just drift off the green. I think it's going to stay on the short grass. Less than 50% of the field finding the putting surface here at the 9th hole. And now Nelly.
There is quite a bit of room to the right of this flag, Tom, but I think with the wind into, and I think it quarters a bit from the left as well, players are kind of erring on the side of go straight at the flag, and it's very easy to run through on the left, as we saw Furuways do. It's a good looking shot here for Nelly.
Well, club 12 means she likes it. Yeah, and she should. Good shot. And maybe that par save on the previous hole is exactly what she needs to kickstart this final round. It's a battle right now. Korda and Kang tied for the lead. We're back at the 9th hole here, the final round of the LPGA Drive-On Championship. This is Megan Kang to get to 13 under par.
And from here, Tom, it is uphill towards the hole. Holding her follow through. She likes a stroke.
She's given enough pace? No, not quite enough up the hill. It should be a 3, but of course Nelly will have a putt to edge ahead now at 13 under. Did you ever have a situation where you were battling away against a good pal from the tour?
I have. It's not easy, actually, because you obviously you kind of you feel for them too. I mean, not only are you trying to win for yourself, but you also, it's not like you're rooting against them, but it's hard to play against them because you can't root against them. You can only ever wish them well, and it becomes very difficult and hard to focus on what you're doing. I remember playing a Solheim Cup match against Meg Mallon. That was the hardest thing I had to do because I really liked Meg.
Furuways birdie putt.
I can't remember, Tom. I'm trying to think. I don't totally remember. I'd say maybe in Solheim more than anything, but I don't know that I really had one of those down the stretch against a good friend.
Karen, you still like Meg, by the way, right? Just clarifying.
Yeah. She crushed me, but yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I would say though that from the holes that I've watched so far today, the atmosphere is not quite the same as it was a couple of days ago when I followed them. Obviously, they'll still have a chat here and there, but it's not quite the same jovial fun that it was a few days ago. And that's very understandable.
What have you seen, Karen? What have you seen in Nelly's body language throughout the day and, of course, over the last, say, 20 minutes or so?
Well, I think that she's just got, especially that part in the last. I mean, she just had a look of determination about her, like there was a, I'm just going to get this done kind of look, as opposed to a resignation of like, oh, woe is me. It wasn't that at all. It was, I'm going to get the job done.
A missed opportunity for Nelly there for her first birdie of the day. Let's take a look at our performance insights by KPMG. Most top 10s without a win since the start of 2023. Ataya Titigun 13 of them last year. Nelly with 9. Remember, she got off to a great start last year, multiple times in contention to win, then had the back injury that took her out for 6 weeks in mid-May.
Yeah, and then when she came back after the back injury, it was at some of the biggest events of the year. A couple of majors and, of course, the summer stretch. Wow, Karen.
Wasn't expecting that.
She just drilled that like she misread it. I mean, when you've got that much confidence, you're just trying to bash it in, Karen, and wow. That wasn't some kind of tentative miss, was it?
No, not at all. I mean, she loved the line, just a misread.
Could make you putt tentatively, though, from here on out.
Coming back the other way. Okay. Well, we didn't see that coming. There's been some surprises over the first 9 holes here in the final round at Bradenton Country Club.
On a day of Sunday shockers, Nelly Korda back in front after a short miss by Megan Kang. And we get you up to the 11th.
Checking with Se Young Kim, who's hit it close to the 11. Not easy to do today with where they've cut the flag. And she's had a real mixed day from the 6th hole. Hasn't had a par since the 5th.
Well, the big part of the LPGA family are the rules officials, and Sue Witters has been out here for so many years, native of Portland. She's going to take a little time off, get healthy here, and then we look forward to seeing Sue again soon. And working hard as always. She'll be back out as soon as she's well. Sue, we love you. And even though players don't want to see you when they're in the middle of a round, we love to see you every week, and we can't wait to see you again. Now Megan Kang, after that stunning miss on the tee at 10.
Wind down today on this hole, and so players have to adjust their lines a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. We'll have to see whether she has a swing there up against that palm tree.
Up ahead, Lydia Ko, this for birdie. To get within 2. Lydia Ko within 1 point of the LPGA Hall of Fame. And here she is in contention again.
In a very comfortable position, just a couple back. I mean, not really many eyes on her, even though we are talking about her in terms of the Hall of Fame. I mean, Nelly came into the day with a 4-shot lead, so all eyes have been on that final group. And Lydia just doing what she does best, making putts.
9 of her 20 LPGA titles have been from behind entering the final round. She's never come from 4 back to win. She's trying to do that today. Meanwhile, the rookie Austin Kim, what an opportunity this is for her to learn from one of the best.
Just as a rookie, I mean, in your first event, to be in contention, playing with Lydia, it's a pretty cool experience.
It's a Nelly Korda in the fairway at the 10th, back on top alone, battling her good friend Megan Kang, and now Lydia in the mix. Just a moment ago at the 10th, Nelly Korda second.
This is from 128, and it's a little bit on the left side.
little more room for Megan Kang than maybe it looked initially. Here's her second.
Yeah, she has no problem at all. That palm tree is going to cause her no issues. 124 to the hole. This is going to be a wedge. Good angle too to that right flag.
Both Megan and Nelly have played this back nine very well so far this week, both 7 under. So they have some good memories here as they make the turn.
So off we go to the 11th.
And Lydia Ko on the tee. You can see that flag there tucked over on the right, with the officials moving the tee forward to allow players to be aggressive.
Almost doesn't even look like it's on the green there, Tom.
Yeah. Good tee shot there from Lydia. And while we have a moment, let's head up to our booth where Grant is joined by a special guest.
Yeah, Tom, that's right. Katie Dahl, Director of Instruction of the West Bay Club in Estero, Florida, is here. The LPGA is the sponsor this week, and we're thinking a lot about the LPGA teaching professionals. Katie, you're a top 50 national teacher, and we talk so much about LPGA, USGA girls golf and how they've just reached this incredible milestone of 1 million girls having come through their program in the last, 35 years or so. What role have the LPGA professionals played in that?
Yeah, so it's really been a grassroots effort. LPGA teaching professionals like myself, I'm a site director, have been for many years, and we create these girl-friendly, fun atmospheres where girls can really thrive, meet other friends, and get involved with the game and really see how fun it is.
Yeah, well, there are 2,000 LPGA professionals certified. As you think about where we go from here, what makes the role of the LPGA professional unique?
Well, the teaching process, it's a very rigorous process. We are all about a student-centered model. So when a student comes to the lesson tee, it's all about teaching that individual. So that makes a really big difference. Everything is research-based. So, you know, a lot of people are great players. I had played golf for a long time, but I learned so much through the education process on how to coach other people and help them to play their best golf.
And how fun is this to see all the young girls out watching these great stars of the LPGA?
It's fantastic. That's our goal, is to reach the next million by 2030.
Yeah, way to go. Congratulations to you and all the LPGA professionals. Katie Dahl, Director of Instruction of the West Bay Club over in Estero, Florida. And we've got some of the biggest stars. Nelly Korda was just a young girl when she got started. Don Bindley was her coach when she was getting started here in the Bradenton area, passed away a few years ago, but she had a chance to visit with Don's wife Liz, out watching her. So many cheering Nelly on as she now leads by 1 and tries to add to it here at the 10th.
Oh, and this putt's going to break to the right, and I think as the ball approaches the hole, it looks like there's a little upslope there, so you've got to make sure you give it enough speed to get to the hole.
Oh. Now she came up just a smidge short at 9. That was a great roll, Morgan, it looked like.
Yeah, it looked like good speed, which is what we saw her struggle with a little bit yesterday. And that one was really dialed in from long range. She did have 1 3-putt earlier today on the 5th hole, her 1 bogey on the card. Good look at it right here. Just looked like it was tracking the whole way. Maybe 1 or 2 more revolutions.
Got caught in some of that mully grass left of the muley grass, rather, left of the 8th fairway. Had to take an unplayable. Saved her par incredibly. Now Megan Kang, after the bogey, can pick up a share of the lead again.
This putt also is going to break to the right, but the wind is kind of going to push this, try to hold this ball out on that right side. Again, you do have to give this one enough speed to get it to the hole. Same thing that Nelly faced. The hole is tilted towards her. And I think that was the wind keeping that one out, Morgan.
How that looked like about 5 feet out. That looked like that was going to go dead center. Break right, just like Nelly's had, but not to be.
Over at 12, Shiyu Lin. Trying to creep a little closer. And she does. Tied for 5th now. I call the miss from Megan a shocking miss, but you know, Nelly did say yesterday that early as she was missing some putts, the wind did impact just her comfort level standing over the ball on the green. Foot away at the 10th.
This is on basically the same line as Megan's was, and so much of this will depend on whether she gets the same gust and it keeps the ball out on the left, or whether the wind drops a little bit and that allows the ball to roll into the hole as it should do.
Yeah. Foot away with an important putt. How hard is it to stay steady in the wind, Karen, when you're putting?
Oh, it's really hard, and it's one thing that it's not keeping yourself steady, it's keeping the putter face steady.
Something to watch as we go along here the next couple of hours. 11.
Yeah, players putting from this side of the hole at the 11th, putting back down the hill, and been watching a few players come through here, and it's been tough for them to get the read right. Should be moving from left to right here down the hill. Yeah, she's screaming for that to sit. It does. It's just very quick when you're above the hole on this golf course, and especially on this green. We were talking a little earlier in the break, Grant, about how many points players need to keep their cards for next year and where you would need to finish to earn that amount of points, say this week. And we said second or third place finish is basically going to guarantee your card for next year. Austin Kim tied for fourth, so you could eat into a lot of those points right out of the gates, and that takes so much pressure off these rookies trying to keep their card, be out here next year. They can start to focus on finishing inside the top 60, get into the CME Group Tour Championship and all the other events that come along during the year.
I feel like watching the determination in Austin's face. She's not worried about keeping her card.
She's trying to win.
She's out here to be a force.
Well, one player that's trying to win, we know that. Lydia Ko, this for a birdie.
I thought it was so interesting what she said to you yesterday, Tom, that she felt less pressure being one spot closer to the Hall of Fame than she felt being two away. Felt like being two away might have been just too far, but now feels like one is very much in her grasp.
Great two there. Yes, it was almost as if she said, well, she didn't say it, but she kind of felt like she was saying and thinking, I'm going to win. So there's no real pressure. I'm going to get there eventually. I feel like I'm going to win one more, whether it's tomorrow or down the road. She's going to get there. This is how she's earned the points. You get a point for each win. You get 2 points for a major, so a couple of extra points there. And then some of the season-long races come with a point. Grant mentioned a gold medal also now comes with a point. So far in Lydia's career, she's earned 26 points. 27 qualifies you for that Hall of Fame. This is Robin Choi just trying to clean up her par. Struggles today. I like the points-based system for the Hall of Fame. I think it clearly gives you the goal. There's no popularity contest. It's always controversial when you've got votes and people say, well, that player should have made it, that player shouldn't have made it, why are they in the Hall of Fame, etc. You don't get that with the LPGA. There are some international players. We look back historically now and say, well, certain international players should be in the Hall of Fame. They just didn't play as much in America. But we're not going to have that going forward. You know, this is the World Tour, and if you earn the points, you're in. Foot away now on the tee at 11.
And I would think that all the players, once they get to this tee, Tom, are very relieved to see this tee box moved up with this whole location so tight on that right side.
That's good, Karen, right there. If you go right of this hole, it falls away. You can go run off the green 10, 15 yards. Very difficult up and down. So that's why they've been playing left of this hole. That's a really sensible tee shot. You can see their good angle from behind. Now Nelly.
Well, and with the wind direction too, the wind is from the left, so it will push the ball towards the hole. Again, you can start it on that same line and just watch the wind drop the ball down to the right. So really quite a nice visual.
Too far left.
It's a little bit
Too
more.
far short. Come back. It's going to come back. Yeah, careful there. Should just settle. Yeah.
Got just a little bit of the lefts today. That one that she hit on 8 left. Even the iron on the last hole on 10 left.
Take a look at our top tracer technology presented by Progressive Insurance with this tee shot of Lydia Ko. Now 1 back.
Taking less than driver. There's water up the right, so just trying to avoid that, especially being downwind today. Brings it much more into play. This 12th hole has been one of the hardest holes on the golf course this week, but playing much easier today with the wind change.
11.
Now Megan Kang.
Well, she knows what to do here. Just keep it just a little bit left of the flag, get the ball on that top level.
That should suit her eye with the little fade that she likes to hit.
Safe. And Nelly with a little bit of work to do. Got to deal with that ridge at the front of the green.
Next.
Back at the 11th. Look at this youngster.
Souvenir.
Yeah, he's got the signboard there from the marshal. Great family atmosphere. A lot of local folks coming out to enjoy the LPGA right on their doorstep. This golf course is pretty much in the middle of the neighborhood here in Bradenton. Really well supported. Love to see the LPGA come back. All right, what does Nelly face, Karen?
A really steep slope, staring her right in the face. And then once it gets on top of the slope, it's going to break to the left. Go back to the support. I think Nelly had to ask for 40 tickets for this week for family and friends. Oh, this is great speed.
Yeah, well done there. Yeah, she lives about 40 minutes away. Her parents live only 15 minutes away from here, and she was born in the hospital right around the corner. So this is really home territory for Nelly Korda, and she's had tremendous support from the local community here this week.
Lydia Ko with back-to-back birdies at the 12th. Tom, the downside to the point system that you were championing earlier is that should the unthinkable happen and Lydia Ko not win another point, one of the greatest players of the modern era wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. And Laura Davies, how can you have an LPGA Hall of Fame without Laura Davies?
Well, my point is she wouldn't have earned enough points, so she wouldn't be in.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. That's it. You didn't get enough. With Laura Davies, I think is my point with players from the past who were international players who didn't play as much in America, had great careers on their home tour and played in the US.
We'll discuss another time.
Kang for a birdie. And just leaking towards the front of the green, so that'll be a 3.
Chillier here in West Florida today, as we remind you that for seamless style on and off the course, you can shop now at LPGAProshop.com. And if you want to get connected with the LPGA Tour, do so on social media: Facebook, X at LPGA, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram at LPGA_Tour, and Threads.
And you can jump on social and weigh into our Hall of Fame discussion.
Sure.
Why not? We'd love to hear from you. Now, foot away for the birdie.
You left yourself in a really nice spot here, Tom. I'm sure you've seen a lot of putts from here. It's been quite popular. I really like how she looks with a putter in her hand.
That's a new putter that she put in last week for the first time. Instead of having a line on the top of the putter, it just has a little bit of a dot, so she doesn't watch her stroke as much going back and through.
Morgan, were you a player that switched putters a lot?
I did not. I switched putters every few years at best.
This is the other par 3 on the back nine, 15th. Lucy Lee. Lucy's had a good day today. 3 under par. Short of the hole. See a lot of players short of the hole. Going long is dangerous. Still has a par 5 to come at the 17th. It's been a good day for Lucy. Well, Megan Kang missed a putt a little longer than this on the 9th. This is for par at 11.
Yeah, just better speed here, no problem.
.191 starts to win on the LPGA. That came last year.
Now trying to win for the second time in 8 starts. It's how it goes sometimes, isn't it? Austin Kim second at the 12. Big hitter, Morgan.
Yeah, she's got tremendous power and very aggressive off that tee. We haven't seen anybody hit it that far here. Most players not taking driver off the 12th tee.
It's at 13. This is Shi Yu Lin. Level par for the day. Not out of it yet. 4 back. Needs to sneak up and get that victory. Maybe that will be how she wins. There's been so many chances for Shi Yu Lin.
Well, we talked about those players with the most top 10s without a victory since 2023. A couple of them in this final group, Nelly Korda and young Japanese star Ayaka Budaway on the tee here at 12.
You'd have thought this would be a little more downwind, but it's actually just pushing the ball from the right at the moment. Maybe a hair of help, but more from the right. And this is just fine. That's what you expect.
What a wild couple of days, Morgan, for Nelly Korda. The way she started and finished yesterday and then today.
And you go back to even the first round as well. I mean, what, she made 127 feet of putts, Karen, and she's had a bit of an emotional roller coaster, but she looks very focused right now, very much in control.
I think that's the way you have to play it. I mean, I think you can draw on the experience of yesterday, knowing that if you finish strong.
Ooh. Oh, and another left. That's 3 or 4 in the last handful of holes.
Would you say if you're laying up, lay up in good shape? After a double bogey at the 3rd, Lydia Ko was 6 shots off the lead, but birdies at 10 and 11 have brought her to within 1, and this to tie the lead. Wow.
That caught a ton of the hole. And just, I mean, it goes back really to Lydia's whole career and her perseverance. But, I mean, that early stumble that you mentioned with the double bogey and just hangs tough. Keeps fighting her way back. Doesn't let those setbacks really hold her down. That has truly been the story of her entire career, not just out here today.
So she remains 1 back. Wednesday, the Premier League is on Peacock. Darwin Nunez and Liverpool look to stay top of the table as Cole Palmer and Chelsea come to town. Wednesday, 3:15 Eastern Time on Peacock. Tom, you got your alarm set? 3:15.
Is it the afternoon?
Yeah.
Oh,
not to wake up. I just mean just
I was going to say
to alert you that the game is starting. All right, there's Robin Choi, the Aussie. Played collegiately at the University of Colorado. Q Series medalist, back on the LPGA Tour. 15.
just a moment ago. This is Lindy Duncan for a birdie. That is just incredible across the green. Maybe the longest putt of the week hold.
Only the second birdie of the day on that tough 15th hole.
Austin Kim at the 12th. Huge drive, unable to take advantage. A 3-putt bogey.
Yeah, when you have what looked like about a flip wedge into that 12th hole, that's really unfortunate. You kick yourself after that one.
Nelly has not had her best stuff today in the bunker here at 12.
And she's waiting for the green just to clear.
32 is actual, playing 30, just trying to finish just right at it, bud. Good tempo here.
She's got the ball just a little bit above her feet. And there's pretty soft sand around the edges of these bunkers, so she's going to have to really kind of work on how this club enters that sand and make sure of clean contact here. Wind is blowing
really
from the
making
right.
sure she has good grip on it here, Karen. Choking up just a fraction.
It's got to go.
Sounds like it caught that bunker that protects the front of this green. To see what the lie is like.
This is Lucy Lee for a par, the 15th. Misjudged that first putt. Well done. Saves par. 109th in the CME standings last year. Won't have to worry too much about that if she keeps playing like this.
Ayaka Foodaway still very much in this. Her second at 12.
She's got 124. Ball's just a hair below her feet. Wind from the right. Trying to control this one. You can see that little abbreviated follow through.
Yeah, really well done. As that heavy wind off the right, just tried to hold something up a little bit and got it to land softly. We haven't seen too many players get all that close to this 12th hole location.
The wind direction right to left today. It's been left to right all week.
She just looks so comfortable with that club in her hand, Tom.
She's added some distance with that driver. Just looks really good.
How about the stance here for Megan Kang at 12?
Well, the ball's a little bit above her feet. She did take drive off the tee, hit it over the bunker, only had 68 yards left.
Oh, look out.
A huge advantage playing aggressively there. Different from what we saw from Austin Kim. She was able to get it close to this whole location, and boy, that scared it there for a second, Grant.
One more look. Over the bunker with their tee shot, over the bunker with their second. Yeah. Game of inches, right?
You gotta love Megan. She has so much fun out on the golf course out there. You know that she's feeling it and feeling the energy of being in the final group, but I mean, the sporting on the range, she's singing some country music, and just, you know, those are ways for her to stay relaxed under this type of pressure.
We saw the game face in Canada. She was playing in the final group with Se-Young Kim, made a 72nd hole birdie, and then beat the great Jin Young Ko in the playoff. At 14, Shiyu Lin, her second. Doesn't matter what the wind direction is, 14 is just tough, isn't it?
Yeah, 14 is going to be crosswind, whether the wind comes from the south or the north, as it is today. So either way, a tough hole.
Nelly from the bunker with her third at 12.
Well, we've seen her hole out from a bunker this week already. She did that on the 17th yesterday. This one's downwind, going to be tough to stop it.
Good call.
It's just really heavy sand here in these bunkers, so it's tough to get enough spin.
Well, Karen mentioned it. This is kind of what the leaderboard looked like. Bunched up yesterday, but then Nelly got to the 17th, hit a couple of 7-woods to this point, and then this.
Yeah, this was just beautiful. Left it in a wonderful spot there. Told her, I said, you got a little extra flair for the dramatic.
And then she birdied 18, and suddenly what was just a jammed up leaderboard was a 4-shot lead. And then that lead was gone within 7 holes today. Kang made a surprising bogey at 9, and so it's Nelly at the moment by 1. But that could flip here, and I think it's still her turn, Karen.
I think it is. I mean, it was just really hard to get any kind of stop on that shot from the bunker. I mean, as Morgan was saying, that the heavy sand, landing on the downslope, downwind, just very hard. But really could do with coming up with a little something here, kind of trying to settle things down just a bit, make a putt. And I mean, really things started to turn around for Nelly on the next hole yesterday, on the 13th. So we're kind of coming into that range where she starts to feel comfortable and, you know, maybe get things going again. But slightly different today than yesterday. You know, yesterday you're playing knowing that you've got a whole full round ahead of you. Today you can feel the clock ticking. As you get deeper into the round on Sunday, you get close to the barn, and everything just seems to intensify the deeper into the round you get.
I feel like her putting stroke looked a little bit better earlier today. Like that putt on the 8th was a huge save.
Is this another big one? It is, and Nelly escapes with a 4. The putt at 8 that you referenced is after having to take an unplayable.
I mean, yesterday she didn't make a putt over 4 feet until the birdie putt that she had on the 18th hole, and she's made some really clutch par saves here in the last 4 holes now.
13.
Second shot for Lydia Ko.
Just way choked up on this, trying to control something, hold it up against the right to left wind.
Oh, kind of did hang out there, and she was fortunate that didn't catch the bunker.
All right, with the wind whipping through the palms here, Megan Kang to tie the lead.
It is, and it's going to hit her on her left shoulder as well. Downhill for Megan.
Well, a chance for a 2-shot swing. Instead, it's going to be Nelly still in front with 6 holes to play.
I mean, we say it, every putt is big and every putt is important, but those 2 par putts were just for her psyche. She needs to get one in for birdie. I think she'd feel a little bit better if she was able to do that, but sometimes those putts, Karen, can feel like a birdie themselves.
Well, no doubt, and it gives you that little bit of confidence that when you do stand over a birdie putt, you're like, okay, I'm okay, I've got this. You know, you don't have to think, blimey, I've been missing putts all day. When am I going to finally make one? She's already made some, so. And ones that have really counted too. You think about this one here, you think about the par save on 8 as well. I mean, pretty crucial.
Now foot away to get within 2. You wouldn't have thought all 3 would walk away with a 4, would you?
It's a crazy game. That's why you never give up. You just got to keep grinding. You never know what's going to happen. Focus on yourself. Control what you can control, like making these clutch saves for par right here.
In the bunker off the tee, in the bunker with her second, but in the hole with a par. And Nelly hanging tough in this test of metal. In downtown Bradenton, the Bishop Museum of Science and Nature features a planetarium, a look into Florida's natural history, and a rehabilitation center for injured Florida manatees. The Parker Manatee Rehabilitation Habitat in the museum is a second-stage rehab center for injured manatees. Once they're finished with the rehab process, they are returned to the wild. These slow-moving, docile creatures can be found in the Bradenton area year-round. They love their manatees here in Bradenton, and they love Nelly Korda, 13.
This one should be a straightaway par 4, Karen.
It is, with the wind really heavy from the right now.
Shot.
That's in good shape. Have you ever seen a manatee in the wild?
Yeah. The statue of one downtown. Shiyu Lin at the 14th for par. Time running out. Shiyu. 13.
Yeah, long birdie putt here for Lydia Ko.
I feel like it's right in her wheelhouse, Tom.
Yeah, I was going to say, he wouldn't count her out.
Had a long one on 10. This one's got a few different breaks, plus a more exposed with the way the wind is coming today from more northerly wind, not protected by those trees on the south end of the property.
It's running out of steam, so a bit of work to do. We knew it was going to be a bit of work there. Thought that Lydia would dial in the pace a bit better. She's had the pace so good over the last couple of weeks on the LPGA. At the 13th, Lydia Ko is for par. Lydia bidding for that LPGA Hall of Fame if she were to win today. And that is not going to make it any easier. She will drop back to 10 under par. Only 34 players have made it to the LPGA Hall of Fame.
25 have earned their way in points-wise. 9 others, like Dinah Shore, have been added to it.
And the LPGA founders
were added a couple of years ago.
Yeah, most recently.
They're the most deserving of anybody in that Hall of Fame.
I could not agree more, even though they didn't earn the 27 points. All right, foot away, 13.
She's got 177, got a bit of an upslope. Really, as we're waiting for that green to clear, it gives the players an opportunity to really get a feel for this wind. I mean, it is completely different from yesterday. And yesterday, this hole felt quite sheltered. Today, the exact opposite. It feels like it's incredibly windy, and I do think that the wind's actually picking up right now, as opposed to yesterday, but staying down.
Yeah, when I was out on the golf course earlier, I felt like this was the windiest part of the golf course, right here around the 13th.
Likes to hit a little bit of a draw, so going to have to start this one in the right half of the green and let the wind take it back towards that hole location. That right palm tree is a good target. Those two tall ones behind the green.
I was worried it was going to go too far left.
All right, 2 back now after the bogey at 13. Lydia at 14.
Hasn't had the most success on this hole. Missed the green long yesterday.
Oh. Kind of like Plinko in here. You never know.
Yeah, going to end up probably in the coquina. We'll see what kind of tree trouble she has upcoming, if any.
To the adjacent 13th.
This is Megan Kang.
Also from the upslope, 168. See her trying to keep this down a little bit. And wind just didn't move that at all.
Karen, we haven't seen too many players get it all the way back to the flag today.
No, I think it's tough. I mean, Nelly's got 146, but she does have a downslope. I think that will help. I mean, the reason it's hard is that the wind, even though it feels like it's crossing from the right, it kind of almost works back into as well. So it depends on the wind direction.
That is class. And right on cue, the player who was aggressive enough to get it all the way back there, rewarded with a great look for birdie.
Today's coverage is brought to you by the Epson Tour, road to the LPGA. And by Win Grips, the best grips in golf.
Back at the 13th. Than Nelly's birdie putt there.
Ooh, this is where Lydia's tee shot at 14 has come to rest.
You've seen these. What did you call them?
The muley grass.
The muley grass. I try not to learn those words because I don't want to be anywhere
You don't even want to
them.
say it. Speak it into existence. I hear you. She may have a prayer here. We're second at 14, back to 13 first.
Yeah, looking from the front of the green with that menacing bunker on the right. And Kang for the birdie.
A little easier from this part of the green. In that you don't have to deal with the little ridge there that Footaway had to cope with. This one's still uphill, Tom, so you're going to have to give it a good hit to get it there.
I had a good view there of Nelly taking a look. Oh, what a roll. Back to her right to see where Lydia might be behind that bush on 14. At least can see that Lydia is in the coquina.
You missed it earlier. Nelly was in that muley grass bush left of the 8th. Had to take an unplayable and incredibly saved her par.
And this is a really good stroke from Megan. You know, final round putting has not been one of her fortes. Last year in 2023, she was one of the worst in final round scoring. Gave up nearly a stroke to the fields. Strokes gained putting in the final round. Not been the case today. Other than that one blip on the 9th hole, she looks very comfortable with that club in her hand.
That hopped about halfway up the putt. I wonder if it kept it out. Now Nelly for a birdie.
The wind just dying down at the moment as she's addressing this putt.
Well, she's not made a birdie today. That was the point yesterday, the 13th hole, where she started to turn things around. I thought it might be the case today. But still just a one-shot lead. Still waiting for Nelly to make a birdie.
Okay, here's Lydia's second.
Just don't do anything silly. Get it back in play. Give yourself a shot into the green.
13 again.
Footaway trying to get a feel for this putt. It's for par.
Uphill, Tom. I think the wind might want to push this a little to the left.
just seen Lydia make a very similar mistake. So that's going to be a bogey for Footaway. She must be wondering when this next LPGA victory is going to come, and whether today will be another near miss. Winner in 2022 in Scotland.
In fact, she came from behind to beat Lydia Ko there in Scotland. Here's Lydia scrambling at 14.
Such a tough hole location. Wind howling off the left. What a fantastic shot. And with the bobble on the last hole, tough tee shot here. And has a really good opportunity to save par on the toughest hole on the course.
Not the best of days for Lexi Thompson. This is to save par at 15. Yeah, well done. 4 over for the day. She's still waiting for her first birdie. Does have a par 5 to come, but 16 and 18, not easy holes. 16, fourth hardest on the golf course. The 18th hole, by the way, the hardest hole on the golf course today.
Well, you get the sense this would mean so much to Nelly Korda in the area she's called home, where she's grown up. Trying to win for the first time since the end of 2022. A missed opportunity at 13, but still in front by 1.
And this is just one tough golf hole. The wind off the left, it's pushing you away from the penalty area, but pushing you towards the coquina and the trouble on the right. You want to have a shorter shot in here with the flag on that far right side of the green.
She's going to have a similar fate. Looks like she may have a more clear shot towards the green. We'll see. We'll have Karen scope that out when she gets up there. But you know, think about how she was standing in the penalty area earlier this week on the left, and that's been her miss today. Not surprised to see that one go right here on this hole, Karen.
Oh, not at all. I mean, it was. I mean, you just can't go left. I mean, at least to the right, you have a chance. I think Megan looks like she's trying to fight that wind a little bit here with that swing.
Had the big breakthrough in Canada, staring down a couple of major champions en route to winning the CPKC Women's Open. Now trying to chase down her good friend Nelly Korda today. But Nelly, after losing a 4-shot lead, is back in front by 1. Welcome back to Bradenton, Florida. It's the 6th edition of the LPGA Drive-On Championship. Began back in 2020 when the tour restarted after the COVID shutdown. Inverness that year. Been to some great clubs. Bradenton, Donald Ross design. That's how the leaderboard looks. Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel, Tom Abbott, Karen Stumples, and the team with Nelly Korda. A 4-shot lead when the round began, but Morgan, we saw the winds. We felt the winds changed and early in the day, and boy, the leaderboard has certainly been volatile today as well.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a tough day to play. Course playing well over 2.5 strokes over par and giving some players fits. This would be one heck of a save here for Lydia Ko for par after driving it up the right here on the 14th, having to pitch out sideways. A beautiful wedge to here.
What a game. Hits the green in regulation, 3 putts for bogey at 13. Has to pitch out at 14, saves her par. That's a big one.
She's just a grinder. She never gives up. She just keeps plugging away. And we all know what shape her game is in after what we saw last week. And, you know, coming down the stretch, 17 is a volatile hole. 15's a tough par 3 upcoming. And 18 playing as the hardest hole today because of the wind switch. So there's still a lot of golf left to play.
A player that is familiar with windy conditions. The Scot, Gemma Dryborough at the 16th. Oh, yeah. What a frame that one. It moves her back into the top 10. Winner a couple of falls ago. This is where Nelly's tee shot came to rest. She won't be first to play, but she and Jason McNeed, her caddy, will get a yardage.
Yeah, you can talk about luck in this game. You know, think about where she ended up on 8, having to take an unplayable. Potentially lucky to not be in the penalty area on the 8th hole. And here it looks like she can punch something up onto this green. It's been the hardest green to hit today, Karen. Only less than 40% of the field hitting this green in regulation today.
Yeah, I can imagine that the players, you know, take on that flag and end up in that bunker quite a bit. Or coming up short and left as well might be another favourite place for these players. Megan's got 159.
A really smart play there. And not trying to be too aggressive, and a good spot to putt from. Especially knowing that Nelly is in a bit of trouble. Not a very good angle from over there, Karen. What has she got?
Well, she's actually, I mean, she's got a clear shot, you know, through the palm trees. No problem at all with that. I mean, with the flag being tucked on that right, I mean, it's an intimidating shot into this wind from 142. She's got to clear that bunker or play a little bit left of it. You get more room carrying if you go a little bit left and let the wind drift it.
Wow,
this is pretty direct.
She hit a beauty on the 8th hole. This one might trickle off the back.
Well, that is at least back in play for a par.
Yeah, really well done. Smart club. Aired on the slightly long side. Beautiful golf swing.
Are we down to 3 players, Tom, realistically, a chance to win?
Looks that way. This is Lydia Ko, one of them. Tee shot at 15. Aggressive if you get it all the way back there, which she has done. That is going to work out well. There's a slope behind this hole, which would just take it off the green, but she didn't have enough momentum to get to that slope. Yeah, Lydia seems pretty relaxed out there with the way that she's playing over these first couple of weeks of the LPGA season.
Notable events in 2024. Had one last week. Lydia Ko won the Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions. So many big events this season. Chevron Championship, Lancaster Country Club for the U.S. Women's Open. Oregon will be part of the U.S. Brain Trust again at the Solheim Cup. That'll be a month after the Old Course hosting the AIG Women's Open. And of course, Nelly, the defending champ at the Olympics. You don't automatically get in as the defending champ of the Olympics, but Nelly is in line to represent the U.S. once again, and we know how much, Morgan, you talked about it, that Ayaka Budaway would love to compete for Japan.
That's the biggest goal on her radar coming into this season. Wants to get a win so that she gets a guaranteed spot, being in the top 15 in the world right now. She's just on the outside looking in of the 2 spots given to Japan.
How about this third for Ayaka at 14?
Oh, it's obviously very awkward coming over the bunker. And really she took being in the bunker out of play and it came out a little low.
Yeah, it just looked like a little bit of a bare lie there as well. Tough to get the club under the ball and get any height on the shot. I mean, there's a reason why this hole is playing half a shot over par pretty much all week.
She had 7 straight events last spring and early summer in which she had a chance on Sunday to win. Ayaka Budaway finished top 15 each one of those. Nelly started the season great. That hiccup in the spring tweaked her back and had to take some time off. Came back and played really well the last half of last year. That 9th victory has proven elusive, but she leads by 1, and she's got this for birdie at 14.
Well, nothing that's ever worthwhile is ever really truly easy, so she's properly being tested today, and not only with the weather and her game, but by other players trying to chase her down. This putt is back uphill as it approaches the hole, and then the final sort of 3 feet will be a little downhill, so there's a little bit of interest in this one.
She's hit some good long putts in the last handful of holes. Karen needs to dial this one in.
That's frisky.
Another testing putt coming up for Nelly Korda. Has not made a birdie, but she has made some huge putts to save par, including at the 8th after taking an unplayable.
Biggest putt of the day, really, right here for Nelly. Things were not going her way whatsoever, and a big par save there.
And then with Megan Kang and Ayaka Fudaway inside of her for birdie, she rolls that one in at 12 for par. They both missed, and she stayed in front. But she has more work to do at the 14th.
Just to lean on those memories from the day so far, heading into this putt upcoming.
Par putt for Fudaway.
And with the wind off the right. Downhill. Have to be so delicate with that.
Definitely went to school, you could tell, on Nelly's putt. Barely hit that one there.
It's going to be back-to-back drop shots for Fudaway. Meanwhile, up at 15.
Yeah, this could be a big putt for Lydia Ko. This is to get her to 11 under par.
At this point, Lydia's not looking for second place, third place. It doesn't matter to Lydia. She wants to win, and I'm shocked that that one came up short.
Well, we've got some drama at 14. Megan Kang for birdie.
And this one is a little uphill at the start, but should race away towards the hole as well.
What are you doing? She asked herself rhetorically.
You weren't kidding, Karen. That really ran away at the end, but she's been a little heavy-handed with her speed today with that club.
All right, up at the 18th. There has not been a birdie at this par 4 into the wind today. Brooke Henderson is trying to pick up the first one, and she does.
Didn't let the flagstick blowing all over the place in her line disturb her. Such a tough hole, this 18th.
She could sell that birdie to our final group. Go back to the 14th, and some par putts coming up. First for Nelly.
Well, and both Nelly and Jason were paying attention to what was happening with the group in front. With Lydia on the green, they were, Jason was more intense looking over. Nelly would give it a quick look every now and again. This one should be a little bit more uphill, but just a tough read.
Yeah, just like the putt on the last hole, gave it too much. That wind coming off of the left, wind on her back. Tough way to putt. Ball breaking away from you.
It's going to be your second dropped shot of the day. No birdies for Nelly. We'll see if she's still leading as they reach the 15th tee. Megan Kang has a par putt.
Well, this one's a more simple putt. I mean, it is uphill, but it's going to be slow. I mean, keeping the speed up here is going to be crucial.
She seemed to have a decent amount of wrist hinge in that last putt. She always has a little bit, Karen, but maybe why it got away from her a touch. The more you hinge your wrist, the more difficult it is to judge the speed.
Wow.
She has let Nelly off the hook a couple of times, Karen.
She really has. But it's difficult. Like, you're good friends with somebody, and it's hard to stay single-minded, focused on what you're doing when you see your friend do something that you don't expect. But it's just hard to stay in that moment.
I just feel like they've both tightened up a little bit here as we've come down the stretch, and especially Megan. She looked much freer earlier today.
Lydia now just one back. She lets it rip at 16. A win moves her into the LPGA Hall of Fame. The bogey putt here for Boudouet at 14. So all three players in this final group are going to give up a shot here at the tough par 4.
Those last 2 holes have really knocked Ayaka out of this. Really hurt her chances here. Need something miraculous.
Nelly's had a way of enduring. She made a quad on the 71st hole at Pelican a couple of years ago. Came back, birdied the 18th, and won in a playoff. And has come back from a couple of setbacks physically the last couple of years. She won last summer on the Ladies European Tour and played really well down the stretch. And her lead remains 1 as both she and Kang drop a shot at the 14th.
She doesn't look as dejected as she did yesterday, making a couple of those mistakes that she did early on. She looks very focused. Yes, that wasn't what she wanted on the last hole, but it is one of the toughest holes on this golf course, toughest hole of the week. And coming into some holes where she's had some success.
Yeah, they moved to the 15th hole. You saw the stats there for this 15th. Only a couple of birdies today, so if she's going to earn that first birdie of the round, this is a hole that it's quite difficult to do it on. And the last time that Nelly played a round on the LPGA Tour without a birdie, you have to go back to the US Women's Open in 2021 at the Olympic Club in the opening round, where she was birdie free. So it's very rare for Nelly to have a round where she doesn't make a birdie.
Last time someone won on tour, Tom, without making a birdie was Rose Zhang in the final round at Mizuho last year. So it's still possible. Can still hold that trophy at the end of the day.
I think she would be more comfortable if she could have a good finish, similar to what she did yesterday.
That is without a shadow of a doubt, Tom. I mean, she's, you know, the determination obviously is still there, and she knows that she's still hanging in there. Jason's paying close attention to everything that's going on out here, so he's fully aware of what's happening. And I think she knows she has plenty of firepower. She just has to keep believing that eventually something's going to fall for her, and this one's left.
There is water over there. Tough to tell, Karen. It's got to be really close.
It was rolling down that bank really quickly.
Yeah, it's a pretty steep bank.
Putting a flag in there where it crossed. Oh, what a huge mistake. Another left miss. Another left miss for Nelly. She knows it.
I mean, I can't believe that really what I'm seeing from her today with the way that she's played at times this week. Yeah, the amount of talent that Nelly Korda has, it's really hard to believe. Top Tracer technology presented by Progressive Insurance for the tee shots here. Well, what do you do now if you're Megan Kang?
Well, you realise that there's a little window of opportunity opened for you, and she's cross with herself, and you could see it when she walked off that green at letting that one go. And you just say, come on, let's just hit a quality golf shot here. Quality shot, give yourself a chance. looks like she's doing just that, Tom. Just a little fade.
Yeah, that's sensible. Middle of the green, not flirting with that back ridge that takes it off the green if you get too aggressive.
Barring a hole out from Nelly, she's going to drop at least a shot at 15. Meanwhile, Lydia in the group ahead has her second here at 16.
I just got to aim center of the green, let the wind drift this a little bit to the left. Solid shots are much less affected by the wind, so solid contact, very important here.
It's a Sunday stunner. Nelly Korda up 4 when the day began. In the water at 15, Lydia Ko, Megan Kang trying to take advantage. In Montclair, New Jersey, May 9th through 12th, it's the 2024 Cognizant Founders Cup. Be there to witness some of the best in the game, competing to be crowned champion. For more, go to thefounderslpga.com. Here, Lydia Ko has a putt for birdie at 16 to perhaps effectively take the lead, with Nelly in trouble at 15.
Slow putt up the hill. Left that one on 13, the same, well short. Almost coming back towards her. I'm a little perplexed by what I've seen from Lydia here. Even the last hole on 15, leaving that 10-footer short.
3-putt at 13. Here's Nelly at 15.
Yeah, second penalty stroke of the round after she had to take an unplayable at the 8th. So the ball now in play. She'll be playing her third here, Karen. And is it one she can chip in?
I mean, there is always hope. I mean, Nelly is really good around the greens. I mean, I don't think it's particularly easy. There's a lot of green to negotiate. That means you have to judge the roll precisely, and the pitch, and the break as well. She is on a big upslope here.
She works very hard with David Whelan on her short game. One of the best, but this one very difficult because you can't really see, even as tall as Nelly is, the putting surface.
And the club just got stuck in that upslope.
It looked like she took it back very much inside, forcing it to get stuck a little bit. I mean, if you think about Nelly's week, she missed 5 greens the entire week prior to today, and she's already missed 4 today.
Not a guaranteed 4 yet for Nelly. Megan Kang is putting for birdie. She was back on the tee after she'd hit the tee shot. Caddy gets the putter out of the bag, puts it in her hand, and she has a little chat with the putter. Look at this. Okay, you gonna be good to me? And now she's got this birdie putt.
It's chicken or the egg thing with the putter, really. Like, do you talk to it, give it a telling off for putting you in a bad spot on the last one, or do you kind of massage its ego a little bit and hope that it gives you something good here?
Yeah, she was giving it some love. Let's see if it responds.
Hopped right off her putter face.
Wow, we're seeing a lot of putts left short here under pressure.
It just looks tight, Tom.
Yeah.
Everybody looks tight as it gets down to the wire here. The trophy very much in sight, especially for Nelly, Lydia, and Megan. And nobody's really saying, it's mine, I'm going to take it. Not yet, anyway.
Here is Lydia. This for par at 16. And a chance to be in the lead with 2 holes to play.
And when was the last time that we saw Nelly miss putts? Misjudge speed on putts. Did I say Nelly? I mean Lydia. Miss putts of speed on 13 and 16. like she has here. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I've seen that.
Not wanting to leave it short, runs it a good solid 2.5, 3 feet past. 15.
Foot away for the birdie. Hopped a little bit too. May have just knocked it offline. It's going to be a 3. She's remaining at 7 under. I think she's kind of just too far back at the moment, but Nellie's going to drop at least one shot.
I think Bradenton Country Club is winning.
It is. I mean, it was very difficult at the beginning of the week to figure out, you know, how the scoring was going to play out this week. The tougher conditions over the weekend kept the scores at bay. I tell you what, it's been a really good venue, and these greens have been challenging, no doubt about it, especially with the wind and with the way they've set up the golf course. Karen, bogey putt now for Nelly. This is important here. A double would be a kind of a disaster at this point.
It would leave her, I mean, a little bit deflated. So not only does she have to fight the left, she'd have to fight the feelings of potentially letting things slip away. And you've got to try and pick yourself up after that.
Wow, she is going to make a double.
I think, Tom, to your point about this golf course, it feels like it's a completely different course today with the wind changing direction as it has.
Well, it's a completely different Nelly Korda that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I don't think that the change in the wind or the golf course is really something that you can blame this on. What has happened here?
Lydia for bogey. Okay, so she'll go back to 9 under. Kang still has a par putt.
So here is the par putt here for Megan Kang. This is to remain in the lead.
Don't see an awful lot in this one, Tom. Wind just dying down for her.
And it has not. Well, that's moved a ton, and
Goodness.
it's surprised everyone there.
The putter needs a talking to now.
And we are going to have all 3 of these players tied at 9 under par.
And some others still in it.
Yeah, I mean, Lucy Lee's in the clubhouse at 7 under. I don't think she, well, you never know, but I don't think she's going to have a chance in the clubhouse at 7 under. But Footaway's at 7 under on the golf course.
18.
Austin Kim is 6 under on the golf course. Yeah, 18's a tough hole. There's no guarantees there. But 17's the par 5. That is where, if you're Nelly Korda, you've got to think, I've got to take advantage of the length and what she did yesterday there. But right now, it's about turning this attitude around, and her caddy has been so good at doing that in her career. It's a time for him to really get on her case, as you can see him chatting away to her.
Yeah, she needs to take a slow walk to the tee, quite a few deep breaths, settle herself down. Reminder, yes, I have not played the golf that I've wanted to today, but I am still tied for this lead. 3 holes left to play. I've got to grind it out. You don't always have your best game in golf, and it's, I mean, it's what Tiger Woods was better than anybody at, is winning without his best stuff and still getting the ball in the hole. And that's what one of these 3, if not somebody else, has to do today.
Here's Lydia out with the driver, teeing it down low as she's done this week at the 17th. There's a leaderboard over there on the right. But, may not know everything that's happened in the last few minutes. Trying to work one left to right there. And it's in good shape. Just needs to creep by that bunker.
She should be able to get it up by that green there, Tom. Good start to this definitely gettable hole, the 17th.
So after a bogey, Megan Kang has the honor, incredibly, three-way tie.
Wind off the right, so really the penalty area down that right side isn't really what's going to be coming into play. The question will be not running through the fairway on the left into the trouble down there, and this one's going on a bit of a draw. It should stay fine.
What have you seen out there, Karen, with both Megan and Nelly, their attitude, their body language, especially with the struggles over the last few holes?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, they are playing a little tight, but I do think it seems the case for a lot of the players out here today. I think in general, everybody has kind of struggled, but at some point you need some kind of offense. It's really hard to play golf without any kind of birdies on the card, because there's nothing to back up your mistakes, as Nelly just pummels this one, though. It just seems like they're fighting, like it's just a battle out here, Morgan.
It can feel like a battle at times, but you got to keep fighting till the end. A little anger in that swing maybe, but beauty there on 16.
Well, this was not what we were expecting. You've got three winners on the LPGA Tour, one knocking on the Hall of Fame door, a major champion, Nelly Korda, and one of the most consistent players on tour, Megan Kang. They've each struggled here in the last little bit. Nelly really all day. Nelly a 4-shot lead when the round began. And now, after a double bogey at 15 in a 3-way tie for the lead. The last couple of years, there have only been a couple of times in which, only one time really, that a player hasn't held on to a 4-shot lead. That was Natakrita Wongdawilap in the second event of last year in Thailand, but Natakrita was a rookie. This is a different story with Nelly. Lydia had a big lead at Inverness at a drive-on championship 2020, and Danielle Kang came from behind. We saw Chong and Lee 6 at Evian with a 5-shot lead, couldn't hold it. It's tough. The conditions are tough. The golf course is new to everyone. And Hayaka Pudaway, incredibly, just 2 shots back as she plays her second here at 16.
She's got a 6-iron out from 164. She's going to play a draw. The wind will help it and get a little bit more distance on it.
I feel like we thought about counting her out there for a bit, but not so fast. Oh, that's going to go all the way down. Oh, across the cart path. Big miss there. Just club shut down on her. She's put a new golf ball in play this year. It's got less spin, tougher to hold some of these greens.
Now Kang.
He's got 163. Imagine this to be a pretty similar kind of club to Yako. She might be a little bit more creative with it though. Ball's just a smidge above her feet.
Yeah, I like this better for her, Karen, without hitting a big draw. She doesn't have as much curve in her ball flight. Won't ride the wind. Similar place to where we saw Lydia putt from. Very, very slow up that hill. Doesn't look like it from that camera tower behind 16, but there's a ton of slope on this green, one of the most severely sloped greens on the course.
Well, a good start to this 16th for Nelly. Here's her second.
Well, she's got 152. She's also got the 6-iron out, so expect this to be a controlled swing. Got a bit of a downslope here. Yeah, you can see that, just 3/4 swing.
Little club twirl. Haven't seen that in a little while. Oh, but a misjudge on the distance control. I mean, there we go. What, the 5th green that she's missed today?
17.
Yeah, ball below her feet. Let's see what Lydia can do. Second shot to the par 5. Working it in left to right, trying to trundle one in there. And this is going to work out very well indeed. could it be? What a time to hit a shot like that. That's incredible. That's a Hall of Fame shot there from Lydia Ko. And it is going to set up a guaranteed eagle to take her to 11 under par.
We've been waiting, Tom, for somebody to take control of this championship here. What a shot. Didn't even look like she liked it very much.
Well, Lydia Ko has done just about everything in the game, but even she hasn't won the first 2 events of a season. And we weren't sure she was going to win last week at the Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions. She was in the penalty area in 2 at the 15th, her home club at Lake Nona. Pitched to that point, made birdie. Alexa Pano was putting the pressure on. Lydia with a comebacker for par at the 16th, and then closing it out for her 20th career title, her 26th Hall of Fame point. And after a 3-wood at the Grant Thornton Invitational that Jason Day called a mint that helped them wrap up that title, she hits a beauty here. This is what she's trying to do. Take a look. I Miyazato 14 years ago. Look at the last time before I did it. Go back to Marilyn Smith, one of the founders. And now Lydia could join Marilyn, Mickey, Louise, Babe in the Hall of Fame after a brilliant shot. And she's going to finish it off right here.
And how about that? That was vintage Lydia Ko.
Think about the shot that she hit in the Grant Thornton on 17 to set up a victory there with her and her partner Jason Day. What she obviously accomplished last week, riding high. I have to say, she looked a little tight coming down this back 9, realizing that the Hall of Fame was maybe closer than she even thought coming into today. But wow, what a shot here from this kind of an awkward lie ball well below her feet. Looked like it was maybe a groove lower than she wanted based on her reaction, but released up there for a second. It looked like it was going to go in, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, you think to yourself, was that going to go? I mean, was it just going to run up and drop in?
They put a plaque at Lake Merced for a 3-wood that she hit in 2018 in a playoff with Minjee Lee. She almost holed that one.
Yeah, that was an incredible moment. And there's another one from Lydia Ko. Will it be good enough to win? That's the big question. But it is going to set a tough target for those players chasing. 2-shot lead right now for Ko after that fantastic second shot and the eagle at the 17th.
Keep in mind, 18 is the toughest hole on the course. Lot to be decided here. Nelly over the green at 16 with her 3rd.
And this one's going to be back downhill for Nelly, and the big leaderboard that is right in front of this green has updated Lydia's score. So everyone around this green knows what Lydia has done.
Took a look. That's for par coming up.
Cannot afford, has to make that putt. Cannot afford to drop a shot here. She has made a couple of good par saves. Needs to dig deep right now. Deeper than maybe she even thinks that she's capable of.
Remember, she made eagle at 17 yesterday. Lydia just did, and now Lydia leads by 2. Long birdie putt for Megan Kang here after consecutive 3 putts.
And it is back uphill, and you know, judging speed has not been her strong point these last couple of holes, as you were saying. Do have to get this one right. Her caddy knows exactly what's going on. He was staring directly at the leaderboard when it switched to what Lydia had just done.
She did the same thing almost that Lydia just did here on 16 in the group before. The caddies always know. Players may not look at the leaderboard, but it's part of the caddy's job to look, to know exactly what your player needs to do. But Lydia getting a good look with Paul there at the leaderboard. She said last week she felt very comfortable being in the lead.
She was 6 shots back at one point today. Now leads by 2.
Megan looks very frustrated here, Karen.
She has to be. She showed signs of frustration when she left the green at 14, and then you just multiply that by 2 with another three putt, and then to leave yourself this one as well. I mean, uphill. I mean, these greens are not easy to read. You don't exactly have a good feel right now with this club, and you've somehow got to try and make something happen on these last 2 holes. You're now chasing.
She looks like she's got her shoulders slumped a little bit, especially looking over this putt here. 3rd 3-putt in a row. I mean, these are just, I mean, especially the one on 14, really have been gifts to the field.
She lipped out a long birdie putt at 13. 14 ran it well past, missed the comebacker. 15 came up short. Missed the par putt. 16 came up well short. So now Nelly the closest to Lydia. And Nelly's got this for par at 16.
This is Morgan. Dig deep time.
Would she have learned anything from Megan's putt? Similar line?
Yeah, I think so.
I almost will this one right in the hole.
And incredibly, Lydia Ko leads by 3. Just a nightmare for Nelly Korda.
I mean, it has just been a shocking day all around.
This diamond anniversary season, the LPGA Tour has begun with a win from Lydia Ko to bring her to the brink of the LPGA Hall of Fame. The last time an LPGA player earned her way in through points was Inby Park in 2015. Then she had to play a minimum number of events in 2016 to get that 10-year minimum, a minimum that has since been removed from the qualification criteria, which allowed Lorena Ochoa to enter the Hall of Fame. Now Lydia Ko, in her 11th season of the LPGA Tour, is 1 hole away from immortality.
Talked so much about her perseverance in her entire career. Her perseverance today, double bogey on the 3rd hole today, and she has hung tough, including 2 3-putt bogeys on 13 and 16, but just kept doing Lydia things, kept staying patient. And here she is with a 3-shot lead, standing on the 18th tee. That's remarkable. Gonna tee up the ball really low, as we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Into the wind, off the left here on 18. Little fairway finder. Won't be the best angle to that back right hole location.
See about the lie as well. Well, it is time to take a look at the Aon Risk Reward Challenge, back for another season in 2024, highlighting the best strategic decision makers on the LPGA Tour. You take the 2 best scores on each week's challenge hole, you add it up over the course of the season, and $1 million prize for the winner. And this was $1 million shot for Lydia Ko. 3-way tie for the lead at the time. Second just was long enough. And the rollout nearly perfect. And an eagle 3 for Lydia. Second shot coming up at the 18th, leading it by 3.
Five, yeah. Actually, even if it's 5, I'd do great.
Lydia Ko making her way up the 18th. Just less than an hour ago, she was trailing Nelly Korda. At one point today, she was 6 behind Nelly after a double bogey at the 3rd. Birdies at 10 and 11, and even with some stumbles, that eagle at the 17th has moved her in front. This would be her 21st LPGA Tour win, tying NB Park for the most of her generation. She would qualify for the LPGA Tour Hall of Fame. She'd be the first since 2010 and just the second in the last nearly 60 years to win the first 2 events of an LPGA season. And Morgan, it would be the 5th time she's had multiple wins in a year.
I mean, I just go back to last fall. Not making it to the CME Tour Championship last year was shocking to so many, shocking to us. And, you know, she said she wasn't really as prepared for last season as she wanted to be. Made a coaching change in the fall. And, wow, has she found something really special.
No, there is still a chance, but Nelly Korda needs to hit one of the best shots of her life. She's hit a lot of great ones, needs one here, second at 17.
243 to the hole, has a 3-wood. Got a decent lie here. Got plenty of green to get this one to land on the front and get it to release back to the hole. And this is a fading. Looks pretty good.
All right, hang on, not over yet.
Oh, what a shot. What a time to hit a beauty like that. That's what we saw yesterday on the range, Karen. Those just bullets with her fairway woods.
Yeah,
Hold out from the bunker at 17 yesterday. She needs another one, Karen. Lydia just made eagle, a tap in at the 17th.
Land on the French flag.
Yeah, perfect.
Land on the French flag. It was in France that she became the youngest major champion in LPGA history. She was the youngest winner of any event. She was 15 when she won in Canada, a month after winning the U.S. Amateur. She won the Canadian Open the next year as an amateur, turned pro at the beginning of 2014, end of 2013. And now Lydia Ko is staring into all-time golf greatness. She was talking about the lie with her caddy Paul Cormick. Maybe it not filled in, she said. Let's see. Seemed better.
Just play it a little bit back in the stance. Get a little steep on it. One more solid swing here. It's going to leave a bit of a tricky putt up and over the ridge that dissects this 18th green. But out of that lie, there's a solid swing.
She's had a couple of 3 putts here on the back 9. Nelly Korda's got a putt for eagle that could really make things even more interesting, if such a thing is possible on a day like this. This is the scene around the 18th. 7 days ago, Lydia Ko handled difficult conditions at Lake Nona and won the season opener on her home course here, on a course that really no one knows very well. A few have played it in a U.S. Women's Open qualifier over the years. She has emerged as the leader, but now Morgan leading it by 3. We know Nelly Korda has an eagle putt at 17 coming up of maybe 20 feet or so. And the challenge here, get it down in 2 for Lydia.
With what we've seen today, there are no guarantees.
No.
And, you know, Lydia's shown utmost patience on a very tough day to play, getting off to a bad start. But there you can see the dramatic grain change that almost right in the middle of the putt. The first half is going to be very slow into the grain, up the hill. As it gets over that crest, everything runs away. It makes it very hard to judge your distance control here.
Looks good. Not in, but solid.
Think about what she said, how she stayed in Orlando all winter, really focusing hard on wanting to get back in the winner's circle, wanting to rewrite the script from last year. Wanted to put that out of her mind and almost forget 2023 even happened. And boy, has she done that so far this season.
Maybe 4.5, 5 feet for par. Nelly Korda has an eagle putt at 17. Megan Kang was tied with Nelly Korda and Lydia just moments ago, but now here is Megan at 17. Update us, Karen.
Well, she was short of the green in 2 and then was going for the chip. I mean, she had to give it a go, and it ended up going too much and rolled over the back of the green.
And we talked about that Pelican event in 2021. Nelly made a triple bogey on the 71st hole and had to birdie the brutal 18th. Did it to get into a playoff with Lydia, with Lexi, with Se Young Kim, and then won it with a birdie on the first extra hole. Now on the 71st hole here, not far from home in Bradenton, she needs to roll this in to have a chance.
And it's a putt that she has a good chance of making. It's a little downhill.
Hold the ceremony. We're not done yet. Nelly Korda for the second straight day, eagle 17, and she is still in it.
There have been 2 eagles all day on 17. One by Lydia Ko and one from Nelly Korda, and still doesn't have a birdie on the scorecard. But what? I mean, I feel like she did that yesterday after making eagle out of the bunker here, just shaking her head. Like, what is this game anyway? But never, ever give up. What a putt. What a wild day this has been. Just tremendous mental strength to not ever count yourself out.
Wow. We've said wow a lot after some wild shots and then after some greatness from 2 of the best in the game. Couple of top 10 players. Nelly Korda, number 4 in the world. Lydia, number 9. And this putt for Lydia to post 11 under and force Nelly Korda to make just the second birdie of the day at the 18th to tie her. Don't know if Lydia heard the roar from 17. Big crowds all over Bradenton Country Club. This for par. Well, she set the bar in so many ways for her generation. Since she joined the tour in 2014, no one's won more. And now she sets the score to beat. And Nelly Korda is going to have to do what she did yesterday, go eagle birdie, if she's going to get into a playoff with Lydia and deny her a spot in the LPGA Hall of Fame. Hollis Stacy right behind Lydia. Hollis is in the World Golf Hall of Fame, a three-time U.S. Women's Open champ, a four-time major winner, and a member here at Bradenton Country Club.
Out of that divot off the tee.
Wow.
Toughest hole. This hole's playing 4.57 scoring average today. Straight into the wind. Toughest hole on the golf course. Only one birdie, as you said, so far today.
Now, this was at the 18th yesterday after holing out from the bunker for eagle at 17. Dropped that one in, and that gave her a 4-shot lead entering today's final round.
I joked with Nelly about having a flair for the dramatic, but I think this is a lot more dramatic than she was hoping it would be heading into today.
She needs a little more drama here.
Important to pick the right club here. Haven't played Karen with this wind yet this week.
Under the wind, unflags the ball and pretty much left to right into. Trying to finish kind of just right of the German flag there would be perfect.
And it was a pretty straightforward tee shot the first few days. Just, you know, nearly using a 3-wood or a 7-wood off this tee here and just plonking it down there into the wide open bit of the fairway. Different ball game here with the driver. Back into that wind, as you were saying, completely different hole. This one's going to be just fine. Ooh, took a bad bounce.
Lydia Ko becomes the most interested spectator. A hug from the commissioner, Molly Marcoux-Simon. Lydia Ko knocking on the Hall of Fame door. Nelly trying to shut it. Today's coverage is brought to you by Bradenton. Discover real, authentic Florida in the Bradenton area. Visit BradentonGolfIslands.com. And by Volunteers of America, dedicated to building healthy communities through health, housing, and human services. Give at VOA.org. Lydia signing her card after shooting 69. Her lead is 1, but Nelly Korda with an eagle at 17 and a fairway hit at the 18th. Nelly has a chance with a birdie to force a playoff with Lydia Ko. What in the world have we witnessed today?
It has gone. I mean, Nelly started the day with a 4-shot lead. It was gone by the 7th hole.
Was.
And, you know, Lydia just has really persevered after a stumble early. And it's just such a tough day to play. She has stayed so patient. Obviously, that shot on 17 was just spectacular, as was Nelly's putt.
Think about what we're witnessing here. There's no guarantee we're going to see what we could see today, maybe ever again, a player qualifying for the LPGA Hall of Fame. At least maybe not for a while. Jin Young Ko is the closest. She's battled some injuries the last couple of years. She's 7 points away. The last time we saw someone qualify was NB Park. That was back in 2016. We're talking about something that just doesn't happen very often. Should be the 35th player in 75 years of the LPGA Tour to make their Hall of Fame.
I loved her introspective response to Tom yesterday about just feeling even more comfortable being 1 point away as opposed to 2, feeling like it's only a matter of time. So comfortable in her game and where her game is at the moment.
And those two are going to want to save that picture. The rookie Austin Kim and the second-year player Robin Choi. Here's Ayaka Foodaway finishing up at 18.
And that's from 171. And she's going to end up with another long shot for her third.
Yeah, she's had a few left misses today that have hurt her.
New golf course, new wind today. Scoring average is 3 shots over par. And this final group has really struggled, and Megan Kang at one point tied for the lead just a few moments ago. Her second at 18.
That's 164. Back into that wind, right hole location, looking for a little fade to move it back there.
Nelly would like to see something positive happen here. Gonna leave that tricky putt that we saw Lydia have.
Yeah, there's some other areas that have
It should be marked next time. If you're in the middle, in the fairway.
It matches our policy, what we're marking, what we're not marking. Yeah.
So what is?
Wow.
Yeah, 32, 38.
Doesn't look like a great lie, Karen.
I mean, what do you think?
It's bare, I would say. There's not an awful lot of grass
Well, I
under
mean, we're
this
trying
golf
to
ball.
make 3, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let's go through the numbers. 38, we're going 10 of air, that's 48.
Yeah.
Wind is 10, that's 58. I mean, I think this is definitely, if it stays flatter, it carries the 50 to 32.
What's the?
That number's 23, so that's that 32 number. But there's 20 of freaking air and wind up there. Yeah, and a little left to right in it as well. Yeah, I like just kind of that feel like that 55 bullet. No, it's a 55 bullet.
Got 7 iron out for the shot. The actual number's 34, so they're allowing 20 for wind here.
Wow.
And trying to keep it down a little bit as well, Karen.
Yeah, you've got to really buy into it. And this was not a low bullet. This has got some air underneath it.
Oh, Nelly. That's for the win. Incredible. We're not done yet.
The crowd is so loud, they think it may have gone in.
Is it in?
But
No.
the crowd is pulling so hard for Nelly here. Hometown hero. It isn't in, but we've got some more golf to play.
The low bullet was on target.
The best shot by far of anybody today on this insanely difficult 18th hole from a very bare lie. Now let's take another look here. Begging for it to go, to get over that crest, over that bunker. Beautiful kick forward. I love what Jason said. We're trying to make 3. We're not trying to make 4. And she has done that.
She was born 6 months after her father won the Australian Open. Peter Korda, he's here with her mom Regina watching, and here on this Australian Open Sunday, Nelly Korda isn't done after 72 holes.
And it goes back to what you said, even at Pelican Golf Club, when she made that triple bogey on 17, still managed to make birdie on 18, and then won in a playoff. I mean, the greatest dig deep, even when it looks like everything is going the other direction.
This one's gone to 11. Lydia and Nelly are going to play off at Bradenton Country Club. Amazing. A day of absolute chaos comes down to a couple of tap-ins. One for Lydia for eagle, and one for Nelly to tie at 18.
We wouldn't expect anything different in this roller coaster of a day, would we, Grant?
I guess not. And look at this. Nelly Korda said she was been amazed by the support of her hometown here in Bradenton. She grew up here, born not far away, just down the road, in a hospital around the corner. Like little shoulder rub from not just her caddy, but one of her best friends. She's Auntie Nelly to Jason McDeed and Caroline Masson's son, Benton. And that energy from Jason, she needed every bit of it today, didn't she?
She's needed it the last 2 days.
Yeah.
He's been very instrumental for her, been that positive influence. At times she tends to get a little bit down on herself, and he's picked her up and carried her this week to spectacular moments on the last 2 holes for 2 days in a row.
Well, Karen, we have a chance for the heart rate to go down just a little bit as Foodaway and Kang finish.
I don't know. My monitor's still up there.
This is greatness from 2 of the best of their generation.
You talk about Auntie Nelly. How do you think Jess is feeling watching this right now?
She may go into labor. My goodness, Jess is due soon. Think about what Australia has meant to this family. Jess and Nelly have both won the Australian Open. Their brother Seb has won the Australian boys title in tennis. And what a moment this is. It's not a grand slam like the Australian Open, but it feels like it with these 2 greats. Megan Kang at 18.
I feel like she deserves something good to happen here.
Morgan 3 straight 3 putts on the back 9 for Megan.
Yeah, her putting just really was her Achilles heel coming down the stretch. Couldn't get anything going. Hit some nice shots, but that one on 14 really was, I think, the one that hurt her confidence.
Nelly just waiting and watching. She's got more golf to play. It's either going to be the 9th win for Nelly Korda, or it's going to be the 21st for Lydia and a trip to the Hall of Fame. Boot away for par. Either going to be a tie for 3rd or a tie for 4th for Ayaka. And 2 straight 4ths for her to start the season.
Yeah, good finishes for Ayaka. Obviously wants desperately to get into that winner's circle, but with the Olympics on her mind, every one of those top finishes helps her move up the rankings. She's just really a steady player, and you have to think it's not going to be too long before she finds her way into the winner's circle.
She's 23 years old, 3rd year on the LPGA Tour. Megan Kang, she and Nelly Korda were young players on the LPGA Tour together. Both came out here as teenagers. Best of friends, and Megan staying with Nelly this week. And now she'll be cheering on Nelly and Lydia in the playoff.
You saw Megan give Nelly that high 5 there, walking up to the green.
Hole number 18.
You know it's disappointing for Megan what has happened today. She had this right in her grasp, but I have no doubt she's going to be watching this playoff with a lot of interest.
All right, so these 2 have met in extra holes before. Mentioned that Pelican event back in 2021. They were joined by Lexi Thompson and Se-Young Kim. All 4 were ranked in the top 15 in the world at the time. You got both of them now in the top 10, and Lydia a win away, maybe a hole away from the LPGA Hall of Fame, and a thumbs up for Nelly. I guess we were destined for a finish like this after the craziness of this Sunday in Bradenton. Nelly's going to double check the score. If she comes out on top, might be the greatest 73 she's ever shot. Eagle birdie finish to tie Lydia. They'll go back to the 18th tee for the playoff in a moment. we're going to go hole by hole in this playoff until we have a champion. Lydia Ko, 5-2 in playoffs. One of those 2 losses was to Nelly Korda, just up the road at Pelican Golf Club. Nelly's 2-2 in her career in playoffs. She's double checking the scores. Not quite, but close. There's Molly Marcoux-Simon, the commissioner. Christina Lance, head of communications with the LPGA Tour. Morgan, this is the Drive On Championship. It's sponsored by the LPGA, and maybe fitting that we've got 2 of their generation's best dueling here in the late afternoon sun.
And truly embodying what the phrase drive on means. Inspiring the next generation, but truly persevering through a tough day, through a tough week, through a lot of ups and downs all day. This has gone back and forth and just been absolutely wild.
While they make their way to the 18th tee, we throw it down to Tom Abbott.
Here with Megan Kang. Megan, I know it's a disappointing way that it finished up for you today. Can you put your finger on why it didn't quite work out for you?
Honestly, you know, the front 9, you know, played really well. Unfortunately, kind of had a little falter on number 9 and missed a short one for par, but just kind of gave myself good chances. I felt like I was just like kind of running it by the hole, and I couldn't really get my speed down towards the back 9, but that's golf. You know, you come out hot, and then unfortunately it gets a little cold sometimes, but you know, definitely exciting to see a playoff with Nelly and Lydia, and you know, both great players, both great friends, and we'll see how that ends up.
You're a very positive person. You're good friends with Nelly. You stayed at her house this week. Did you say anything to her as you came down the 17th and the way that played out? Just talk us through having a front row seat.
Honestly, you know, Nelly hit such a great shot. I know she didn't love her tee shot on 17, but you know, she hit an awesome shot into the green, and you know, as I was kind of walking up to hit my 3rd shot, I like looked at her and I just said, let's go. Like, come on, let's make some good 2 holes, the 2 of us. She did a little better than I did. But then again, you know, it's super impressive. I thought she nearly holed out on 18 to win, and that would have been electric. But again, like, it's nothing more exciting than a playoff here.
Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Well played this week. I'm sure there are great things ahead for you this season. Thanks so much.
Definitely. Thank you.
Tom and Megan, thank you. Back to the tee they go. And Nelly, no doubt, having her phone blow up. But you think about just the perseverance of these 2 in general over the course of their last few years. Lydia fell outside the top 50 at the first LPGA Drive On in 2020, worked her way back to number 1 in the world in 2022. Nelly got to number 1 in the world in 2021, Morgan, and then a couple of years in a row with some injury setbacks, some health setbacks. She's come back, Lydia has come back, and here they are.
Yeah, it's great to see Nelly healthy. I know we've talked a lot about that, hoping that she can stay healthy for the entire season here in 2024. Lydia, I mean, as we've kind of reflecting back on her entire career with on the doorstep of the Hall of Fame here. Think about all the coaching changes that she's had and just all of the tinkering that she's done to continue to get that little bit better. And sometimes it hasn't always worked out, and she's admitted that. And just her tremendous perseverance.
Karen's going to call the action from on the ground. If these next few minutes are like the last few hours, Karen, who knows what we're going to see here?
I mean, it's just been, I mean, you couldn't script a soap opera any more dramatic than what we've seen out here today. I mean, just quite remarkable, the turn of events. And now you've got two of the best players in the world playing off to win here, both with technically a lot on the line. Lydia with the Hall of Fame, Nelly winning in front of a hometown crowd. Just amazing. Lydia with the drive, knows where the wind is coming from, into and off the left. It's going on a little bit of a draw. Will be fine. You have to think that her emotions have been on a bit of a roller coaster since she completed her rounds as well.
Now that's in a very good position there up the left. Good angle to that back right hole location. Looks like it's sitting in a better lie than the first time around.
Nelly with the drive again, as she did in regulation. Definitely Nelly's distance is an advantage. I mean, we saw that in regulation with the shot that she played into this flag. It's also going to be very nice.
Big advantage there, being a lot closer to the hole. Settled just into a little bit of a hole there.
Both in the fairway on the first playoff hole, Lydia and Nelly. Well, Bradenton has shown up and shown out this week. They have come from all over West Florida to cheer on the world's best stellar field. First full field event of the season, and they are being treated to two of the best of this generation playing off. Lydia Ko with a win goes into the Hall of Fame, and Nelly Korda going to win in front of the home folks for her 9th title.
I have to say, this golf course has really held up to the test this week. It's been set up very well by the officials. We've never seen this golf course in LPGA competition before. Not sure exactly what to expect, but I always love an old school Donald Ross course. The cream rises to the top.
And you've got two of the very best, as we said, right here. Nelly with a mammoth tee shot. She'll wait for Lydia to hit her second.
Lydia has 153. Nelly has 117.
That's good. That's perfect.
So from 153, Lydia is going to hit a 6-iron. And you're right, Morgan. The angle from this left side is I think crucial for Lydia's ball flight and the club that she's coming into this green. It's got a good lie, pretty flat.
She has the opportunity to put a lot of pressure on Nelly.
Oh, this is left.
Oh, is that in the hospitality area? Or is it up against the wall? One more look. There it is. With the champagne on ice. She nearly uncorked the bottle. Sure, they pay the price. Now Nelly.
From 117, got a little downslope here. This is just a small controlled 9-iron.
Oh, that is the shot of a champion. Is it enough to be the champion today? She has answered the bell when she had to do it.
It did not look promising there for most of the round for Nelly, especially I think back to 14, 15, and 16. Felt like she was just giving the tournament away and just has dug deep. I'm still amazed at how far that tee shot went. That was 20 yards further than it was in regulation.
You've got
and just flagged it.
That's Hollis Stacy, World Golf Hall of Fame member. She was a mentor to Nelly around Bradenton Country Club and Concession in Bradenton when Nelly was just joining the LPGA Tour 2017. She hadn't won yet, and Hollis said, "You keep putting yourself in position, and the wins will come." They have 8 of them. Only Jin Young Ko has won more tournaments than Nelly since 2018. She said it.
I think it's great what she said. Hollis told her when the time is right, it will happen. And she wrote that in her yardage book. And that was right before the Asian swing in her second season. And it was written there in her yardage book. When the time is right, it will happen. And she won in Taiwan that fall. And of course, 7 times since then as well. I think, is this the time?
Her first win in the U.S. was at Lake Nona, Lydia Ko's home course, where Lydia won last Sunday. It was the first time that she had had her parents there to see her win. That was the first of 4 wins in 2021. So you've got the champagne on ice. You've got 27 roses. The ceremony was about to begin until Nelly put a halt to it with the eagle at 17 and then the birdie here at 18 in regulation. And the ball next to the bouquet. Well, Karen has seen maybe Lydia Ko hit more great shots around the green than anyone. Morgan, you've seen it up close as well. She's going to need to summon one of her best.
She does, and certainly sort of put it within easy makeable range so that Nelly knows that she has to make her putt. I mean, ultimately, you've got to, for Nelly to win, she's got to make that putt. Lydia is fully capable of potentially even chipping this one in. It is difficult. It's a couple of undulations that she has to negotiate. The shadows from the stands, obviously causing just a little bit of an issue. But as you said, we've seen Lydia do some amazing things. And she has
wouldn't it be
form
fitting?
Oh, it would. I was going to say she has form of holding out these past couple of weeks, doesn't she?
For all of Lydia's greatness, she has been defined more than any other way by her short game, as good as you'll find in the world on any tour.
Yeah, it's what's held up so well for her under pressure, even when she hasn't had her best ball striking. And she talked about not having worked as hard on her short game this past year because she's been focused so much on her golf swings. Become a bit of a range rat, but it looks to have been in really good form these first couple weeks of the season.
More Lydia magic. Will it be enough to force an extra hole? Nelly Korda, who about an hour ago was 3 shots behind Lydia Ko, is going to have a putt to win.
It's tough with the late evening shadows chipping through here, but she just visualizes things better than anybody else. when it comes to these shots around the greens. She did what she needed to do there, put the pressure right back on Nelly.
And now Nelly for a walk-off win. Just a par, but pressure shifts back to Lydia, a few feet away to force a return to the 18th tee.
Just a little bit tentative there on that putt from Nelly.
I would say this. I've watched a lot of playoffs in my time and watched a lot of players and how they react. Lydia looks like she's absolutely relishing this moment. Like, she's walking like she's really enjoying every second of this.
Even the body language almost encouraging Nelly's putt to go in.
Mm-hmm.
She's had that poise all day today, Karen. Even when she hasn't played as well as she wanted to today, she has had that attitude, that positivity and poise.
For par to extend the playoff. We play on. Par fours for Nelly Korda and Lydia Ko. Back to the 18th in a moment. Back they go with about half an hour of daylight left here. Bradenton is known for its sunsets, and I think the fans here want to keep this going as long as possible.
There's been such tremendous crowd support this week, especially for their hometown hero, Nelly Korda, but just all over this golf course all week. Fans have turned out to watch the best players compete here in Bradenton, and I hope that the LPGA, this drive-on event historically has been kind of a one-off event, but I hope that they're able to bring an LPGA event back to Bradenton for many years to come, because I've been impressed with what I've seen from this community this week.
Should be locked on the dot again.
Karen, you've been among them all week long, and you've had to fight your way through these crowds this week, and they are being treated, aren't they?
They really are, and it's just nice, I think, for the players to have so many people out watching and supporting them, and you know, obviously having a hometown player in contention and up there on the top of the leaderboard and now in the playoff is really big for this event and this golf club. Lydia, I think she doesn't worry about that left bunker.
A couple more gusts here, Karen.
Little bit. This one's just down the right half. I kind of hung up in the wind just a little bit, so she'll have a fairly long shot coming up from a not as good an angle as she had first time round.
Nelly hit a rocket on the first playoff hole off the tee. Had inside 120 right for her second. Let's see what she does here.
She did. She only had 117 left. I think she'll take anything between where her first drive in regulation was and where her playoff drive was. So also a little bit down the right half. Got
Maybe
another
in a
gust
similar
of wind.
location to where she was in regulation, not quite as far down as she was in the first playoff hole.
Well, any tournament would love to have Lydia Ko and Nelly Korda playing off. If you'd have said at the beginning of the week this is what we would see, it would be understandable. But how we got here, we're still trying to wrap our minds around.
It has been an absolute roller coaster of a day, gone back and forth. There were so many people who had the opportunity to win this championship, and now we are down to 2. I said yesterday it looked like we could see Nelly and a Lydia showdown today. I mean, Lydia on the doorstep of the Hall of Fame, Nelly winning here at home. I mean, I just can't believe the golf that I've seen in the last hour and a half, especially when it looked like everything was going against Nelly and against Megan Kang, and even Lydia having her own stumbles. And what we saw on 17 and 18, especially 18, the hardest hole on the golf course, Nelly digging deep, knowing that she needed a birdie and hitting it to tap-in range.
Yeah, the last 2 days, Nelly Korda finishing eagle, birdie. Yesterday to get a 4-shot lead coming into the round, and then today she had to have it. Take a look with a win. Again, for Lydia, she would tie NB Park for the most wins of her generation. 21 of them. She would qualify like NB for the LPGA Tour Hall of Fame. She'd be the first player since 2010 and just the second in the last nearly 60 years to win the first 2 events
we
of the
left
season.
it on that note.
We left it on. We're playing golf on Saturday. You haven't got time
We
yet.
didn't say where or when.
I have to say I'm having some flashbacks. I played Lydia in a playoff at Lake Merced, and I remember vividly how calm she was walking down the 18th fairway, and kind of similar to how she looks out there right now, just trying to stay loose, trying to keep it light. Paul, her caddy, certainly helping her with that. It's a tense moment out there.
That was 10 years ago, her first full season on the LPGA Tour. She had already won twice as an amateur, and now trying to have another moment in the sun. She'll go first, as she did on the first playoff hole.
She's got a long way to go. She's got 169.
60.
Where's the pin? Oh, there.
It's kind of in the shadow now, yeah. I mean, mainly in, just a touch off the left. 60. Cold in the wind. 80. 85. All right, what's our target here?
I think landing on the left edge of the South African flag.
Yeah.
I think there's not too many people that play on the LPGA Tour that are better with their hybrids than Lydia. She's going to need to hit a good one here. Back into that wind. It's at least 20 yards worth of wind here.
Choking way up on this one. Karen probably going to flight it down like she loves to do.
This one's going more middle of the green.
Proper tier, though, huh? Okay. Can Nelly see where that ball is? I don't think she can from back there, can she?
No, it's very difficult to see anything on that
I
green.
don't think it's a big one. I think it's just that shot we've been trying to hit right at the kind of the Colombian flag there. Yeah.
Nelly's got a 6-iron. She has 155, so this is the longest shot she's had in here, and the longest club that she's had to use. She's taken another aggressive line at it, very similar line to the first 2 shots.
No, that needs to settle. Everything slopes away over this green.
Just lands just on top of the bunker.
So the roles are reversed. In the first playoff hole, when Lydia missed the green and got up and down. Not sure Nelly's much farther away from the hole, but over the green.
We're not going to touch it until she gets it.
It's gone under the grandstand at 18.
She, of course, will get a drop. It's a straightforward pitch back up the hill. We know how good she is with those types of shots. We'll have a good idea of the read based on the previous play. And Jason doing his best to keep her in the moment, keep her positive.
Well, it is hard to overstate what an impact Lydia Ko made from a very early age. She won as a teenager down in Australia. And a month after winning the U.S. Amateur in 2012 in Cleveland, she went up to Canada and won, became the youngest LPGA winner of all time. She won as an amateur the next year in Canada. She had 17 of her 27 needed Hall of Fame points by the time she was 19 years old. But these peaks and valleys over the last few years, through it all, she has never wavered, maintained an attitude that is exemplary, has remained one of the most popular players in the world. There's the ball.
Your ball is right there. So we're coming on right here. Make sure you're not.
So in terms of the shot she's going to have, Morgan, yeah. Thumbs up. Yeah, we got it. Thank you. Got a player who loves playing on this kind of turf. She hits pitch shots from places that almost anyone else would putt. She has that much confidence, and she'll need a good one. Maybe a great one here.
A player who grew up on this grass, on this Bermuda, which caused so many players fit. She's very comfortable with it. Just trying to get out of the way of this TV tower here.
The position that she's dropping in right here is very claustrophobic, Morgan. You've got the TV tower, you've got the stands, you've got spectators. It's very close. And that in itself can be slightly off-putting. The grass that she's hitting on, or dropping the ball in, is growing towards her, so this is going to be into the grain.
More than likely she's going to be able to place it, which would be a big advantage here. Actually, I think they're saying the first ball landed in front of the tee, so that's why the first drop didn't count. And now the opportunity to place it, Karen.
Definitely. Well, you can see what she's facing.
She still can barely get it to stop.
Yeah, it's still on the upslope, and because the grass is growing towards and down the slope, that's why the ball's rolling. So the club's gonna have, you know, a good chance of sticking in the ground. But the fortunate thing is, as you're saying, she's so familiar with this type of grass. She's got quite a steep slope that she's got to get up, and then there's a slight little down slope between the top of that slope and where the green starts. There's probably about 3 feet there that she can use. I'm not sure. I mean, I think you've got to try and land this on the edge of the green with some spin.
Can she chip this in here, Karen?
I've seen stranger things. It doesn't seem that easy to me because of the grass and how it's growing and the closeness of it. But they're reading it like they're planning on holding it.
Yeah, he said it's going to kick right when it lands and then come back left at the very end.
Remember the Grant Thornton Invitational, Tony Finau was asking Nelly Korda how to hit these shots around the Florida turf as they teamed up in that inaugural event.
Man, a pretty good effort. Didn't maybe have 100% perfect contact, but was really tough to do as Karen talked about how the grass was growing back towards her, but scared the hole. Left a delicate one, though, now down the hill for par, if she may need it.
And it sets the stage for Lydia Ko. A putt for LPGA and golf immortality at the age of 26. Oh my. We may need rules official Ryan Palmer to measure here. See who's away.
A bit surprising is what we saw from Lydia twice on this back nine, 13 and 16, leaving putts well short, but those were from much longer range. That one just looked very tight, as you can imagine somebody would be trying to get into the Hall of Fame.
It sounded like she was being heckled. Some of the local waterfowl. Here comes Ryan.
Yeah, there's not an awful lot in this. And so Lydia will be first to go.
Okay.
No, Morgan, when you're standing on the first tee at the Solheim Cup and everything goes really quiet just before you tee off. When Lydia was standing over that putt, it had the same kind of feel. Just the quiet of expectation.
It's a crazy feeling when there are so many people around, and yet you can hear yourself think and breathe. Really have to quiet your own mind just as much as the crowd.
A lot of players are surrounding this 18th, wanting to perhaps see a bit of history. See this exciting finish. Par putts on the second playoff hole. Lydia first. Out where she made it in regulation. And the door is open for Nelly Korda.
I'd say wow, but we've seen so many things today that have made us say wow, but could be a very costly three-putt here for Lydia. Just never got it high enough, ran out of steam, caught the low edge.
And another putt to win for Nelly Korda.
Just a delicate putt down the hill here. About left edge.
It's a Korda kick again at the finish. And it's enough for Nelly to win for the 9th time and deny Lydia Ko a spot so far in the Hall of Fame.
You deserve that.
Look at all that emotion on her face. I mean, what a roller coaster this entire weekend has been for Nelly. And to win at home on a day when it truly looked like she was giving it away. in the middle of this back nine.
Eagle, birdie to get into the playoff, and then the par on the second extra hole for win number 9. Flag drop for Jason McDeater, caddy. And Lydia will have to wait a little bit longer. Karen Stupples is with our champion.
Thanks, Grant. Nelly, I mean, what a day that was. At one point, it looked really tough out there for you. You were fighting everything. What did you do to turn it around there?
Gosh, I honestly thought that the tournament was over going into 17. And I just kind of gave myself a chance. I knew that if I rolled that eagle in, I had to birdie the last hole. And yeah, I seem to always make it very dramatic and interesting. So there's no better feeling than to do it in front of a home crowd. But what a day.
Everybody says winning in front of your home crowd is the best. What makes it so special for you?
I think just even when I was down, they were so positive and keeping me in it. It was such a grind out there, so back and forth. I felt like I never really got anything going, but I mean, I can't even believe it right now.
Well, many congratulations, and we're going to send it to Tom.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Karen, here with Lydia Ko. You're gracious when you win and you're gracious in defeat. I know this one will sting a little bit. What happened on that little putt there in the playoff?
Yeah, you know, I actually hit a good stroke on it. It just broke a little bit more than I thought. You know, the first putt, it's difficult, I think, when there's a lot of grain. And I honestly didn't think I hit it that far short. But obviously I misjudged the slope and the grain of it. But I played really solid today. You know, I had a few 3 putts today, and I think that was, you know, at the end, like, that was what I think cost the tournament. But, you know, to be able to eagle that 17th and, you know, even have a chance of winning when I actually thought I was like quite a ways behind. You know, it was nice to be like in contention again, like 2 weeks in a row.
It was a wild day, really, wasn't it, today? I mean, you were just seeing it from your group's perspective, but it was kind of back and forth. But that shot you mentioned there on 17 was exquisite. Can you talk about it?
To be honest, I thinned it a little bit. So I actually thought it was going in the water, but, you know, I made just enough contact that it carried the water, and, you know, it just ended up being a very stress-free eagle. And I had a really good 2-putt here on the 72nd hole as well. So I played really well. You know, if I go down the hole of saying, you know, those shots that maybe like, oh, if I did that a little better, then it's just endless. So, you know, good to be able to finish, you know, win last week and then finish second this week.
Well played the last couple of weeks. Well done, Lydia. Grant.
Tom, thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Karen. Nelly, thanks for a great show and a great finish to this drive-on championship at Bradenton Country Club. Lydia and Nelly, neither won in 2023. Each has a victory 2 events into 2024.
2024 is off to a spectacular start. If the rest of the season is anything like what we've seen here these last 2 weeks, it's going to be a wild ride.
The up and down from behind the 18th after nearly holing her approach in regulation to force a playoff. Dad Peter had a birthday earlier this week. Mom Regina there. And a family affair. Jason's like family to Nelly. And would you expect anything different, Lydia? After a tough defeat.
Lydia's always so gracious, one of the biggest role models out here, as is Nelly. And I think it's so interesting what she said, that she thought the tournament was over when she stood on 17T, and maybe that freed her up just enough, changed her mindset, said, this is what I have to do. Let's just give it all we got. And boy, did she ever.
3 back with 2 to play. Eagle, birdie, and then a par on the second playoff hole, and Nelly Korda earns her 9th LPGA title since 2018, her 2nd season on tour, and makes the hometown fans happy. LPGA Farmers Insurance Invitational final round coverage comes your way next, and the LPGA Tour returns The Golf Channel, Wednesday, February 21st at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. First round coverage to the Honda LPGA Thailand. Lilia Vu, the defending champ. Lydia will next play the HSBC Women's Championship in Singapore. Thanks to Jesse West, our producer, director Pete Esposito and their team. For Morgan, for Tom, for Karen, I'm Grant Boone. Hometown girl makes good. Nelly Korda wins in Bradenton.